Game 12 of the 2025 summer back here at Great Park in Irvine. Aidan, Pham joined alongside Sam Evans. Well, Sam, the OC Riptide coming off that crushing loss yesterday. It was a really good game by both sides, just a walk-off by the Foresters. But there's a lot to like if you're Coach Evans coming out of that one.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I think that the resilience that this Riptide team continues to show. They gave up 5 runs in the bottom of the 8th, were trailing 8-3, and scored 5 times in the top of the 9th. Ultimately, some bad umpiring meant the game didn't go their way, but great opportunity right here to flush it and get on to back to winning ways.
Riptide come in 6-5. They'll take on the Colton Nighthawks, who are 8-8 on the year. And this is a non-CCL game, non-league game, the second of the summer for the Riptide. And we'll give you a breakdown of the lineup as the Nighthawks get started here. Leading things off is number 30, Jake Nattori in center field. 31, Jake Fowler starts at shortstop. Val Lopez batting third and right. Gavin Flores batting cleanup. He plays at first base today. Sean Romero, Seth Correa, Damian Casas 5, 6, and 7, followed by Kainoa Luna behind the dish, and Emilio Sabocci at second base.
Yeah, and for the Riptide, the defense behind starter Alex Ramos. From left to right in the outfield, Luke Johnson, Camden Burdick, Jack Salmon. The left side of the infield is Grant MacArthur, who's making his first start at third, and Brady Pettit, his first start at shortstop. Marcos Rosales is at the keystone for the second straight day, and Colby Moran gets the start at first. Behind the dish, making his Riptide debut, Henry McDonald.
Henry McDonald, the sophomore catcher out of Cal Poly, currently in the portal, like Sam said, making his Riptide debut tonight. And you talked to Coach Evans pregame, and what was the message for the rotation at catcher?
Yeah, he talked about that there's a lot of different names at catcher, and the big ones to focus on are Crandall as well as McDonald and Jimmy Zakar. But the Crandall's going to get the lion's share opportunities. Here's McDonald's first chance to prove it right here tonight.
Going to make his mark on the summer for the Riptide. We're just about set underway. Jake Nattori to lead things off as he takes a big breath and steps in the left-handed batter's box, facing the righty Alex Ramos, a lefty on righty matchup. Ramos gets set, fires outside for ball 1. Jake Nattori out of Saddleback in center field today for the Nighthawks. Alex Ramos gets set and paints the edge of the zone. Strike 1 from Ramos. Ramos looking for a better outing today after Arroyo Seco last Friday, where he pitched 1 2/3 innings, 8 hits, 9 runs, 8 of them earned, as he won 1 swing and a miss from Nattori. 3 walks and 4 Ks.
Yeah, no, certainly not the start that Ramos wanted up at Arroyo Seco, and obviously not a league game, but an opportunity to sort of get back to doing what he likes to do and pitching much better than he did last time out.
1 ball, 2 strikes to start against Nattori for Ramos. This one, swing and a miss. Strikeout number 1 for Alex Ramos.
That's exactly what we were talking about. It's great to see Alex doing what he needs to do. He has 8 strikeouts this season in 4 2/3 innings. So while he necessarily hasn't had the start to the year he wanted from a run prevention standpoint, he's done a great job of getting whiffs from hitters.
This is Jake Fowler, the shortstop for the Nighthawks. Ramos, ground ball up the middle past a diving Pettit in a center field. A base hit for Jake Fowler, the first hit for Colton tonight.
Nice piece of hitting there from Fowler. Sort of jumped on the first pitch that he saw and just sent one right out of the reach of Brady Pettit, who's, as we talked about earlier, getting his first start of the season at shortstop. We've only seen him at third base so far this campaign.
So a runner on first for Val Lopez, the right fielder. Right-handed batter, just graduated out of Villa Park. Lifts one in the air, in the infield towards first. Moran settles under it, makes the grab. 2 away here in the top of the first from Irvine.
This Nighthawks lineup has been aggressive so far. That's back-to-back first pitches from Ramos that they've swung at. And obviously a big second out here to try and put up a 0 in the first for Ramos.
Gave up that base hit to Fowler and a pop-up from Lopez. And this is Gavin Flores. Flores Takes one low outside for ball one. Gavin Flores, starting at first base today, just graduated from Corona High School, is going to Creighton next year. Runner on first is Fowler. Ramos gets set, the pitch. In there for strike one. Riptide lost to Santa Barbara yesterday in a walk-off. They currently sit in fourth in CCL standings. This game won't have an impact on that, but still good to get their 7th win of the year. This one low and outside. Nice job by McDonald to make the grab.
No, yeah, we saw the last time the Riptide played a non-league game, they beat the Marlins in walk-off fashion in 10 innings. So definitely, and that was a moment that I think sort of gave the Riptide confidence in themselves and an ability to know that they can do it and pull off big wins.
2-1 misses low. 3 balls and 1 strike against Gavin Flores, who steps out and a couple practice swings as he steps back in the left-handed batter's box. The runner on first is Jake Fowler. Singled right up the middle. 3-1 pitch. Lifted in the air out towards center field. Burdick races to his left, makes the grab. And that concludes the top of the first. Ramos gets out of it. No runs for the Nighthawks. We head to the bottom of the first. Introduce you to the Riptide lineup coming up next. At Great Park in Pham, Sam Evans with you. Here's a look at the OC Riptide lineup for today. Leading things off, Cam Burdick, the center fielder. Batting second, Marco Rosales at second base. Grant MacArthur bats third. He plays at third base today. And Brady Pettit in the cleanup spot at shortstop. Kobe Moran, first baseman, bats fifth. The designated hitter is Mitch Birdsall, batting sixth. Jack Salmon bats seventh in right field, followed by Luke Johnson. And like we talked about, Henry McDonald making his Riptide debut. He bats ninth.
And the defense for the Nighthawks behind the starter, Matt Futami. In left, Damian Casas. In center, Jake Notorian. And right, Val Lopez. Sean Romero and Jake Fowler make up the left side of the infield. Emilio Sabucci at second base. Gavin Flores at first. And then Coyote Luna doing the catching.
Cam Burdick leads things off. Matt Futami starting on the mound for Colton tonight. Sophomore from Golden West College. Burdick takes a pitch upstairs for ball one. Cam Burdick, we've seen him bat in the 9-hole the past couple games, but leading things off for the Riptide here today. Futami gets set in front of his chest, and the 1-0. Sails in there for a strike one. 1 ball and 1 strike against Cam Burdick on a 4-game on-base streak. Last played against the Barons. That was on Sunday. 1-1. Strike 2 from Futami.
Burdick struck out 7 times in his last 4 games, so trying to avoid that right here.
Batting .214, has 1 RBI this summer for the Riptide. Futami gets set, the 1-2. Low, evens up the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And while his batting average isn't exactly great, he definitely fits the prototypical leadoff hitter. Plays great defense in center and is a real threat to steal once he's on the base paths.
2 stolen bases this year as he sends 1 back foul. Cam Burdick played at Cal State Fullerton this year, a redshirt sophomore. Hit 2 home runs there in his 48 games played.
He missed most of his freshman year with a broken wrist, so got to play a full season this time.
2-2. Ground ball, a couple bounces to short. Fowler has it, fires off the mark, and Cam Burdick reaches safely. Fowler had to move a couple feet in front of the bag to make the grab, and as a result, Cam Burdick aboard first for the Riptide.
Great job there by Cam hustling down the line. It's going to be ruled an error, but that play is made if Cam's not beating it down the line, and he was able to evade the tag of Gavin Flores because of his speed.
Error is charged to Fowler, and this is Marco Rosales.
Marcos is the only player in this lineup who started yesterday. We saw Jack Salmon come in as well, but getting the opportunity to play back-to-back days here.
Burdick on first. Rosales takes a pitch inside, 1 ball and no strikes. Talked about how Cam Burdick is a threat to steal when he's on. He's on first right now for Marco Rosales, who's batting .222. Was 0 for 4 yesterday. Takes a cut and misses, and this is Burdick taking off. The throw sails past the second baseman, but not far enough for any more damage to be done. Burdick in scoring position for Marco Rosales.
We were just talking about his speed, and he didn't get a great jump there. That throw from Luna sort of sailed up the line, but I think that's part of what you expect that comes out of this Riptide offense. You know, they get really aggressive on the base pass, and they force teams to make throws.
1-1, way high from Futami. 2 balls and 1 strike against Rosales. Also from Cal State Fullerton, starting at second base today. We've seen him get a couple starts at short as well. Playing in his 7th game this summer for Orange County. Futami looks back at second, heaves it home, and Rosales swings and misses.
They've changed that error from Burdick to a base hit, so he's gotten himself a base hit to start off this ball game.
Rosales also looking to get aboard. 2 balls, 2 strikes. A runner on second in Burdick. The pitch misses. Now a full count against Marco Rosales.
Rosales went 0 for 4 yesterday, but I thought he played some great defense over at second. Made a nice diving play and a couple of rangy plays where he was looking more like a shortstop than a second baseman at times.
Definitely was kept busy yesterday and made a couple highlight plays like you talked about, Sam. Here he is, a 3-2 count. Futami, the pitcher. He gets set, fires. Misses low, and ball 4, Marco Rosales aboard first. Runners on first and second for Grant MacArthur.
MacArthur's getting his first start of the year at third base. He's played a lot of first base and DH for the Riptide so far this season, but he is listed as a first baseman and third baseman for UConn, and so getting the opportunity to show off his abilities at the hot corner.
Had a great year at UConn, a .306 average, also hit 9 bombs there. Runners on first and second. There's no outs, bottom of the first. No score yet between Colton and Orange County. For Tommy's pitch misses low, 1 ball, no strikes. MacArthur, a season high 3 hits against the Academy Barons back on Sunday. He was 3 for 4 in that game, had an RBI as well. 1-0. Runner takes off. Burdick slides in head first safely, now 90 feet from home. With no outs, runners on the corners for the Riptide.
And obviously it looked like that was Burdick's decision to steal because you didn't see Rosales jump from first. So certainly the player making the call there to go.
Runners on first and third. Burdick on third. Rosales on first. Grant MacArthur, the batter. A .333 batting average this summer. A pitch paints the edge of the zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, he had a huge hit there in the 9th inning. Was eventually lifted as for a pinch runner, but set the table for that walk-off win against the Barons on Sunday.
Looking at cash in Cam Burdick here, who's on third. Futami, the 1-2. Outside, evens up the count 2-2 against Grant MacArthur. Had 40 RBIs at UConn this year, 3 in the 2025 summer with Orange County. arm sleeve on his right arm, white gloves with a wood bat wavering next to his blue helmet. Lifts one in the air, but it goes back foul on the right side. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
MacArthur at the start of the season had a ton of walks and a ton of strikeouts, very 3 true outcome centric, and so doing a good job of battling and staying in this at-bat.
Still no outs. Runners on first and third for the Riptide, and Grant MacArthur looking to do some damage. Futami, the 2-2, way high. It actually sails over the head of MacArthur. Now a full count as Futami struggling early here against the Riptide.
Great play, though, from Coyote Luna to save a run by getting his glove to that ball.
Three balls, 2 strikes, no outs, bottom of the first. No score yet. The pitch, hammered foul on the right side by MacArthur.
Got fooled a little bit by the off-speed there, but was able to slow his bat down just enough to make contact and keep himself alive.
Spent fall of his freshman year at Hawaii, then transferred to San Joaquin Delta, where he was a 2-time All-Big 8. Now with the Huskies, and swings and misses. Runner takes off from first, sliding in safely, feet first. Rosales. MacArthur is out, and the home plate umpire points at Rosales at second and says he's out.
Well, that's quite harsh. Certainly it's one thing if he decided to send him back to first, but calling for a double play there instead. It didn't look like MacArthur interfered greatly with the throw down, but certainly sending him back would have been reasonable instead.
So just like that, there's 2 outs in the bottom of the first. Brian Evans wants to have a word with the home plate umpire. It's a quick word and set to resume play. 2 outs, bottom of the first, all tied up at 0 here in Irvine. Cam Burdick led things off with a single. Came around, he's on third now, and this is Brady Pettit. Pettit takes a pitch that clips the bottom of the zone for strike 1. Pettit, like Sam talked about at the top, starting at shortstop today, a position we haven't seen this summer from him yet. Is on a 2-game hit streak. Low outside from Futami, 1 ball, 1 strike. Played against the Barons on Sunday, was 1 for 3 with a strikeout. But as a true freshman at St. Mary's this past year, a .423 batting average. Cam Burdick takes off the throw home. Got him. No, they're going to call a balk, and Cam Burdick scores from third. So just like that, the Riptide, a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the first.
Talk about making things happen if you're Cam Burdick there. You get on because you hustled on the line, just beat a tag, stole 2 bases, you dart home and force a balk there from pitcher Matt Futami to score the first run of this ballgame.
Aggressive base running for Cam Burdick, and the Riptide a 1-run lead in the bottom of the first. Brady Pettit in the air out towards right field and drops foul. Playing in his 3rd game this summer for the Riptide is Pettit, sophomore infielder. Two outs, nobody on. Riptide lead 1-0 over Colton here. 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Strikeout number 2 from Matt Futami ends the first inning, but the Riptide add 1 run via Cam Burdick, and they lead 1-0 headed towards the second. second here from Great Park. The Riptide, a 1-0 lead over the Colton Nighthawks, who come in at 8-8. Riptide at 6-5 this summer. Alex Ramos back out there facing Sean Romero. First pitch up and in, and see if it got a piece of him calling for help as the home plate umpire, and it looks like it did.
Looks like he's at least attempting to walk it off here. The Riptide trainer came out, spoke to him, but he seemed more mad than injured than anything, you know.
So Sean Romero goes to first. Alex Ramos gets a mound visit from McDonald here.
Still walking gingerly down the line, being monitored carefully here. So we'll see if he remains in the game or whether he'll come out.
And this is a Colton team whose roster is a lot smaller than the Riptide. Not much room to work with if you have any injuries for Colton.
Head coach Ruben Montano came out. Looks like he spoke to him, but decided he's okay, going to take his stuff and go back to the dugout. So he'll stay in this ball game.
Runner on first for Sean Romero. Pepperdine commit at first. Seth Correa here. Low outside corner of the zone for strike one to Correa, the designated hitter. Alex Ramos gets his third start on the mound for the Riptide this summer. Misses away, 1-1 strike to Correa. Ramos out of Long Beach State. Made 21 appearances there. An 0-1 record. No outs, runner on first. 1-1 the count. Romero set at the belt, fires in. And misses away once again. 2-1 strike against Correa.
Ramos has a 4-pitch mix, fastball, sweeper, curveball, changeup. He can touch just about 90 miles per hour when his heater gets up there.
Righty on lefty matchup, low outside. A nice grab by McDonald. 3-1 strike now against Correa. Sean Romero's on first. He was hit by that pitch from Ramos. Correa graduated from Santiago High School, is going to Colorado State Pueblo in the fall. 3-1 misses outside, and runners on first and second for the Colton Nighthawks.
Some control issues here for Ramos. He walked 3 batters coming into this game over the course of the season, so not exactly a huge issue, but Coach Evans will come to the mound and talk to him.
Evans out there for the first mound visit of today. The entire infield is in. The runners talk to third base coach Scott Combs. Mike Luna over there at first with Seth Correa. So Alex Ramos had a relatively good first inning. Gave up that single to Jake Fowler, but 2 nice outs from the Riptide defense, and the mound visit concludes. This is Damian Casas.
Casas, one of 3 lefties in this lineup. Correa, who's on first, was one of the others, as well as Gavin Flores, who ended the last inning.
Casas starts in left field for the Nighthawks. Runners on first and second. Romero on first. Correa on first. Romero on second in this one. Misses away. 1-0, no strikes against Damian Casas. From Aquinas, going to Cal State Fullerton in the fall.
We saw Tommy Maguire only work a third of an inning in his start yesterday. Ramos has already worked more than that, but definitely want to give the Riptide some length here.
1-0 misses away once again from Alex Ramos. 2-0, no strikes. And yeah, you talked about it. Ramos having a little issue with control early in this game. Hit a batter to start the inning and walked Correa. Looks back at second, the 2-0. Fly ball out towards right center. Burdick races over, makes the grab, and runners go back to first and second, and 1 away here in the top of the second inning.
A great play there from Cam Burdick. He covered a ton of ground, got all the way out to the warning track in right center, and the runners were sort of, I think, expecting that ball to drop. They were a long way up the baseline, so not able to tag in advance. Had Romero at second been tagging, he easily would have made it to third. So being able to hold those runners right where they are is very important.
It's the first out of this inning. Now Kainoa Luna, the catcher, steps in to the right-handed batter's box. Runners on first and second for Luna. Ramos's pitch hits Luna on the left arm, and the bases are juiced. The control issues continue for Alex Ramos. Bases loaded with one out in the top of the second. Riptide holding on to a one-run lead.
It's a frustrating one there for Ramos. You get the big out with some nice help from Cam Burdick in center, but now you really have to battle to try and keep this game where it's at.
A righty on righty matchup. Misses up is Ramos. Ramos, before that Arroyo Seco game where he was charged with the loss, pitched against the Philippines. 1-0 pitch from Ramos. Towering high fly ball to Cam Burdick in center field. Makes the grab. Romero tags from third. Throw cut off by Ramos, and Romero slides in safely to tie up this ball game.
Smart play to cut that ball off there from Colby Moran, who darted across the infield, because that one's going to be a long way offline, so would not have had a chance to get the runner at the plate.
2 away, top of the second inning, a 1-1 ball game, and this is the top of the lineup, starting with Jake Notori. Notori, ground ball to third, scooped up by MacArthur. He throws to Moran at first. Ends this inning, the Nighthawks able to respond with one run. This game tied at 1, headed to the bottom of the second. Tie ball game 1-1 between Colton and Orange County. Matt Futami back out there. Kobe Moran, Mitch Birdsall, and Jack Salmon due up for the Riptide in the second inning here. The Nighthawks, 2 batters hit in the second. Sean Romero came around to score. Kobe Moran, lefty, faces Matt Futami out of Golden West.
Matt Lee just strolled into the bullpen for the Nighthawks.
First pitch misses, 1 ball and no strikes to Colby Moran. No batting gloves on, grabs some dirt and now gets back in the box. Moran slices one foul on the left side, and it drops in the Riptide bullpen. Everybody looks okay in there.
Looked like there was an effort at a diving play from someone who was already stretching down there. I think Trey Telfer may have gotten his hands on the baseball.
That's gotta be rough if you're just warming up, chilling in the bullpen, and next thing you know, a ball comes your way. But it's 1 ball and 1 strike against Kobe Moran, who just walked to the Riptide dugout and grabbed a new bat.
Yeah, must have fractured his lumbar there, so got to get a new shillelagh.
Against Arroyo Seco on Friday, he was 0 for 4, struck out twice, was Kobe Moran. Let's see, start at first base today, the 1-1 from Futami. Outside, 2 balls, 1 strike against Kobe Moran.
Moran's driven in 4 runs already this season in relatively limited action so far.
214 average, 6 games played so far, and swings and misses through the pitch from Futami.
Yeah, at Hope International, he had a big year, had 10 home runs, hit over 400. So, ton of power in Moran's in bat, but he haven't really shown it off so far this summer.
Riptide looked to get him going. A hard hit ground ball, bobbled by Flores, and underhand pitches to Futami, retires Moran. Mitch Birdsall here, the designated hitter, as Omaha, the bat dog, grabs the bat, rounds the mound, and gets a standing ovation, or a round of applause, I should say, as it's a nice job by Omaha there.
Well, I like when she runs around the mound for no reason. It looks like she gets very excited and just can't contain it, so she has to run in a circle instead.
Mitch Birdsall, the designated hitter. Looks at a pitch outside from Futami. 1-0 the count. Birdsall spent this past year at San Jacinto College, was at Kansas. Prior to that, spent 2 seasons in Lawrence. Upstairs from Futami, 2 balls and no strikes. Birdsall in the portal.
When he's effectively in the portal here, he's expected to leave the Riptide and head up to Menlo Park in the North Division at the end of the month.
Hammers one out towards left field. Racing in is Casas. Squeezes the glove, makes the grab for out number 2. 2 quick outs for Matt Futami, and Jack Salmon played in yesterday's game. It was in place of Bradley Navarro, who had to exit the game. Salmon was walked once yesterday. He came around to score in the 9th.
So Navarro said he's A-OK, just got the wind knocked out of him, so he's expected to be back in the lineup shortly.
Pitch misses in, almost got a piece of the kneecap of Jack Salmon. Salmon played the 2025 season at Hawaii and just announced he's transferring to UNLV. 2 balls and no strikes against Jack Salmon. Matt Futami, the Golden West pitcher, played locally here at Pacifica High School as his 2-0. Misses low, gets by the glove of Luna and rolls towards the backstop, and the Riptide bat boy tracks it down.
Jack so far this season, 3 hits. They've all been doubles, so a lot of extra base hits so far coming off his bat.
6 games played for the Riptide. This one gets a piece of his right arm. He's hit by the pitch. Not happy about that one as he kind of throws back his gear, but that one got him in the air. That definitely is going to leave a bruise.
Oh, and it's especially frustrating when you get hit in a 3-0 count because you already had the walk anyway. There's no need for you to get hit, but it looks like it got him probably right on the edge of the elbow where there's really not any meat to protect you, just sort of straight on bone.
He's aboard first for Luke Johnson. Luke Johnson from Cornell. Jack Salmon just hit by the pitch. Luke Johnson, we've seen him start at third base a couple times. Is in left field today. Runner on first with 2 outs. The pitch dropped in there by Futami for strike 1. Luke Johnson pinch hit yesterday against the Foresters, was hit by a pitch, and so came around to score. 0-1 down low from Futami, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Johnson's 2 for 18 so far this season. Both those hits came a week ago against the Philippines. So trying to get things going here.
Yeah, had a really good game against the Philippines. Was 2 for 3 in RBI and 3 runs scored as that one misses the zone. 2 balls and 1 strike. Was 0 for 3 against the Barons on Sunday. 0 for 4 against Arroyo Seco on Saturday. Futami, the 2-1. Runner takes off Salmon. That one sent back foul. Giving it chases Luna, but he stares as it lands in the stands.
Well, with a 2-strike count here on Johnson, he's trying to avoid what would be his 10th strikeout of the season. He struck out 9 times in 18 at-bats, which is the most on the roster so far for the Riptide.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Jack Salmon on first. Knotted up at 1 in Irvine. No wind tonight as the flag's in center field, blowing straight down. The pitch, a high hop to third, called foul.
It's lucky there for Colton that ball went foul, because there would have been no chance to get the speedy Johnson. He was basically already at first base before that ball landed in foul territory.
Johnson, if he's able to get aboard, leads the team in stolen bases this summer, has 3 of them already.
It's a big part of why he's scored 5 times this season despite having 2 hits. You don't see a lot of guys who have double the amount of runs if they have base hits in a season.
He's back in the right-handed batter's box, swings that black bat around. Now it waves next to his right ear. Salmon takes off, throw called a strike. Salmon slides in and the throw pops out of the glove of Sabochi. No, they got him. Or rather, Luke Johnson swung and missed. It's strike 3, and that gets the final out of the second inning. We head to the third, tied at 1. Third inning here from Irvine, tied up at 1 between the Nighthawks and Riptide. Alex Ramos is back out there. Jake Fowler, Val Lopez, and Gavin Flores due for a Colton in this inning. Jake Fowler singled in the first. That's the only hit today for Colton.
He got a first pitch fastball, laced it right back where it was thrown.
Pitch, back foul from Fowler. Alex Ramos struggled a little bit in the second inning, gave up 1 run. He's back out there in the third now. 0-1 pitch, down low to Fowler. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, in the struggles for Ramos last inning were all about control. He hit 2 batters and walked another to get the bases loaded. Didn't give up a base hit, but did give up the run. So trying to be more precise with the baseball right here.
He hit 2 batters. This one a ground ball. Rolls to second. Rosales scoops it up and delivers a nice throw. No. Not in time to Moran at first. So Morales, who has been pretty reliable over there at second, unable to get the out at first, and Fowler has reached for the second time today.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was more about Fowler's speed than anything else. He was blazing down the line, and that ball rolled pretty slowly to Rosales. It looked like he got to it quickly, threw a good ball to first, just not in time to get Fowler, who's definitely a threat to steal after that speed.
It's his second hit of today, and this is Val Lopez as Ramos drops in strike 1.
Lopez had some gaudy numbers for Villa Park High School. He had a .442 batting average last season for them.
Fowler on first, the 0-1. Sent along the left field line and drops foul. Out of play, no balls and 2 strikes against Val Lopez, the right fielder.
No, slightly concerning there if you're Ramos. That ball was laced pretty well, but ahead 0-2 and trying to work for a big first out here in the third.
Ahead in the count 0-2 against Val Lopez, looking for his second strikeout tonight. Ramos gets set, the 0-2. Low and outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ramos transferred to Long Beach State, played at Golden West College, was named the Orange Empire Conference Pitcher of the Year and first team All-State at Golden West. Looking for strikeout number 2, and he gets it right there. Freezes up Val Lopez, 1 away in the top of the third.
Perfectly placed pitch on the inside half of the plate there from Ramos, and great opportunity to try and string some outs together and hopefully gives the Riptide some length, because that bullpen worked 8 2/3 yesterday.
Fowler on first. There's 1 out in the top of the third. Tie ball game at 1 for Gavin Flores. He transfer commit. Fowler, Ramos to first and sliding back safely is Fowler.
No, Ramos saw how fast Fowler got down the line for that infield single and was concerned, so good to check on him there.
Black bat waves next to his red helmet, and this one misses outside from Ramos. 1-0 the count.
Interesting that Flores has a red helmet. Every single other player on this Nighthawks roster has had a black helmet, but that's part of the joys of summer ball, that sometimes those things happen.
Played at Corona High School, and their colors are red and white. Paints the edge of the zone for strike 1 is Alex Ramos.
It's not a bad look for Flores. The red matches his cleats as well as his shin guard, so he can pull it off.
Looks like he's got yellow gloves on as well. Runner takes off from first. Sent foul on the right side, and Fowler jogs back.
Nice for the Riptide that Flores swung, because I think that he was going to have a hard chance to throw the runner out there as Fowler was blazing his way, so it would have been a tough opportunity for Henry McDonald to get his first caught stealing of the year.
McDonald in his Riptide debut behind the dish. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ramos ahead in the count looking for strikeout number 3. 1-2. Misses low, evens up the count 2-2.
Looks like there's some more noise coming out of the Riptide dugout, and they were certainly not happy with the umpiring yesterday at Santa Barbara.
Runner on first, that's Fowler with 1 out. Skies 1 back foul from Gavin Flores.
For those who were not able to listen, the Riptide lost yesterday 9-8 in walk-off fashion. It appeared they had sent the game to extra innings when the umpire behind home plate, stepped back and looked like he was going to pump his fist for a called strike 3. Instead, called it ball 4, and then eventually that run came around to score.
2-2 planted foul in front of home plate by Gavin Flores. Danny Suarez, a new addition to the Riptide roster, jogs out and retrieves the foul ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes, runner on first, 1 out, tie ball game at 1. Lifted in the air and it drops in front of Salmon in right. Runners on first and second after the base hit from Gavin Flores for Colton here.
That was a great piece of hitting there from Gavin Flores. Really lengthy battle, a lot of foul balls, and able to just stay with the pitch, not try to do too much, and sent it into right field for a base hit. And the Nighthawks have something cooking here in the third.
2 hits so far in the third, and now Sean Romero, who was hit by a pitch back in the second, steps in the right-handed batter's box. Almost steps off and now back on. Looks at second, the first pitch, and it hits Romero once again. Romero definitely not happy with that one, as that's his second time being hit tonight by Ramos.
Well, and they've both been up and in. It's sort of certainly a scary area. You do not want to miss there, and so luckily it hit him in the helmet and he was A-okay, but understandably frustrated with Ramos.
Ramos, that's his third batter that he's hit tonight. The bases are loaded with 1 out here in the top of the third. Riptide and Nighthawks tied at 1.
Big spot here for Colton to try and get some runs across. The Riptide bats have been very lively the last few games, so trying to get an early lead for the Nighthawks.
Stands up tall, waves a wood bat, and sends one back foul. 0-1 now against Seth Correa. And we talked about how Alex Ramos struggled with control in the second inning. He hit Sean Romero there, and looking to get out of this inning with 2 outs left to go. The 0-1 misses away. 1 ball and 1 strike, 1 out. Romero is on first. He was hit by the pitch. Flores singled, and Jake Fowler led things off. He also singled. He came around. He's on third. Misses the zone once again from Ramos. 2 balls and 1 strike.
This is the concern here for Ramos. The control has sort of come and gone. When he got wild, he hit, walked, and then hit another batter in a 4-batter time span. So hopefully he can get some control here with the bases loaded.
Ball 3 from Ramos. 3-1 the count. Ramos at Long Beach State this year. 24 strikeouts to 10 walks. Romero looking to play a couple more runs for the Nighthawks and take the lead. Won't have to swing the bat at all because that one is ball 4, and Fowler scores from third, and the Nighthawks lead 2-1.
Those were 4 relatively uncompetitive balls. Didn't look like there was much thought from Correa to swing. They weren't particularly close, and that's the real danger. You know, if you're sort of living in the shadow of the zone, you're going to walk batters occasionally. But if you're not even giving the batters a chance to swing, then bad things are going to happen. So some action begins in the Riptide bullpen.
Zach Thomas, an assistant coach for the Riptide, signaled to the bullpen, and looks like Jay Spanky is getting warm for the Riptide. Bases still loaded with 1 out for Damian Casas. Big swing and a miss from Casas.
Casas from CSU Fullerton, so he's facing a couple of his teammates on this Riptide roster. Cam Burdick in center, as well as Marco Rosales out in second baseman.
0-1 pitch. Misses high from Ramos. 1 ball, 1 strike. Seth Correa was walked. He's on first. Romero's hit by a pitch for the second time today. He's aboard second. Flores had a single. He's on third. Colton has already scored 1 run in the third. They take a 2-1 lead. High fly ball out towards right field. Salmon working back and makes the grab about 2 feet in front of the warning track. Runner tags from third. Flores scores, and a 2-run lead for the Nighthawks here in the third.
Another deep fly ball here. The wind is pretty minimal, but what it is blowing out to right field. So perhaps carrying that ball just a little bit, but certainly scary there as you weren't that far from a grand slam.
2 outs, top of the third. Nighthawks lead 3-1. Ramos looking for that third and final out of this inning. Down the middle for strike one from Ramos.
It's Ramos' third straight start where he's allowed at least a run per inning, and see that big blow-up start against Arroyo Seco in the middle of it.
0-1. A high bounce to third. MacArthur bobbled it and it dropped out of his hand. Luna reaches first and the bases loaded once again for the Nighthawks.
Yeah, that was going to be a pretty tough play. Pretty much had no chance to get Luna and had to be very quick with it. And instead, MacArthur, making his first start of the year over at third, bobbled it.
Nighthawks not done yet here in the third. They have the bases loaded once again for the 9-hole hitter Emilio Sabocci. Pitch is low. It got by McDonald, but he's able to pick it up rather quickly and runners stay put. Sabocci, a sac fly in the second, scored Sean Romero.
Tied the game at 1 at the time. Now he's got a chance to extend an already 3-1 lead here for the Nighthawks.
4 hits through 3 2/3 innings for the Nighthawks. Ground ball right towards third once again. MacArthur's got it. Throw to Moran in time. Ends the third inning, but not before the Nighthawks plate 2 more runs and head to the bottom of the third, leading 3-1. It's the bottom of the third inning here at Great Park. The Riptide trailing 3-1 to the Colton Nighthawks in this non-CCL league game for Orange County. Henry McDonald making his first plate appearance for the Riptide. New pitcher Matt Lee for the Nighthawks. Swing and a miss from McDonald through the first pitch he sees from Lee.
McDonald from Cal Poly Pomona, and the Riptide have had a lot of different guys play games behind the plate this season. McDonald becomes the 5th member of this team to get a start behind the dish.
Love to start his Riptide summer with a hit. 0-1. Appeal down to first, didn't go around. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Additionally, Matt Lee entered the game at pitcher for Matt Futami. So Futami's final line: 2 innings, a hit, a run, a walk, 3 strikeouts, and then a hit by pitch.
Lee played at Franklin Pierce. 1-1 from him. Edge of the zone for strike 2. Started 1 game, played in 16 games for Franklin Pierce. Coming in the game in relief for Matt Futami, who went 2 innings like Sam said. 1 ball, 2 strikes as Lee's pitch. Dropped by the catcher Luna, and nice job by McDonald not go all the way around. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
McDonald didn't do a whole lot of hitting for Cal Poly Pomona, just 5 at-bats, did not record a base hit. So looking to change that right here for Orange County.
2-2 as McDonald waves a wood bat next to his right ear. The pitch hit down the first base line, but it twists foul from McDonald.
Long run for the young bat boy, but he's hustling down the line and he's going to make the play. So some good energy and execution out of him as he continues to sprint. That ball really got all the way into the right field corner.
Still going. Now he's got it. 2-2 pitch. Down the third base line, and it drops fair for McDonald. Headed for second. A double in his first at-bat as a Riptide for Henry McDonald.
He just missed a double down the right field line, and instead he finds one down the left field line. A scorched ball, and what a way to start your Riptide tenure.
Nice job by McDonald in scoring position for the top of the lineup with Cam Burdick here.
Great at-bat there. Fouled off some pitches, took some close pitches, and well-earned extra base hit.
And had 5 at-bats this year, no hits, and in his first at-bat with the Riptide, a double. Burdick takes low from Lee. 1-0 the count. Burdick singled in the first. Came around a couple stolen bases and scored. That's the only run tonight for the Riptide so far. Matt Lee gets set, a black glove in his left arm. Pitch sails by Luna, and McDonald takes third.
Great opportunity here for Cam Burdick, and a good count, and just needs to put a good swing on the ball. The infield looks like it's not going to be brought in, so if he can hit one on the ground or just lift one to the outfield, the Riptide will likely get at least 1 run back here.
Extended his on-base streak to 5 in the first, looking for his second RBI of the summer here for Cam Burdick with McDonald on third. 2-0. Up and in from Lee. Head in the count, 3 balls and no strikes for Cam Burdick. Tall center fielder from Cal State Fullerton. Black glove in front of his face for Lee. Fouled on the plate by Burdick.
Had the green light there in a 3-0 count. Took a good hack, but still in a great count here, 3-1.
Capped off the year with the Titans at Cal State Fullerton on a 5-game hit streak. Home run against Fresno State and UC Irvine. Had 6 multi-hit games there this year. Looking for a second hit today. That one sails high. Ball 4 from Matt Lee. Burdick on first. Runners on the corners for Marco Rosales.
Nice job there from Burdick. It's really easy, I feel like, in those situations where you've got a runner just 90 feet away to try and do too much. And if they're going to give you a walk, then take it. It's a great opportunity to get on base. He's the tying run right now.
Riptide trailing 3-1 to the Nighthawks. It's the bottom of the third. Colton scored 1 run in the second, 2 in the third to take the lead. Rosales upstairs from Lee, 1-0 the count. Rosales was walked in the first inning. Burdick on first and McDonald on third with no outs in the bottom of the third for Marco Rosales. Burdick takes off, pitches high, throw from Luna. Not in time. A stolen base for Cam Burdick. And boy, Sam, you brought it up earlier, but Burdick on the base paths is aggressive.
Yeah, it's 3 stolen bases as well as his attempted steal of home that meant that he scored on the balk, and he's just been a demon out there on the base paths.
Both runners in scoring position as Burdick's on second and McDonald on third. McDonald started this inning with a double and in the zone from Lee for strike one against Rosales.
Rosales does not yet have an RBI this season, so looking to add to his ledger. It won't count for the stats in a non-league game, but definitely good to be able to drive some runs in here if you're Marcos Rosales.
Riptide looking to get him going. And 2-1 from Lee. Taken inside for ball 3. And favorable count here for Marco Rosales with runners on second and third. No outs as Luna trots out to talk with Lee.
And if you take ball 4 here, you load up the bases for Grant MacArthur, who's probably got the most power in this lineup today. A ton of, pop in that bat. Big frame for MacArthur. So a walk, definitely not a bad result here if you're the Riptide.
Big breath, and he adjusts his blue helmet with his right arm. Black gloves with the wood bat now awaiting the 3-1 pitch from Matt Lee. Here it is. In the air into right field, it drops foul, but man, that one was close.
No, the outfield shifted the other way on the righty Rosales, so I think he would have had certainly a double and perhaps a shot at a triple there. Had that ball landed fair, certainly would have tied this ball game, but instead a full count here.
Full count against Marco Rosales. Matt Lee looking for the first out of this third inning. Still looking for his first out of this outing. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Runners on second and third for the Riptide. Matt Lee. Payoff pitch. Hard hit ground ball into left field. McDonald scores from third. Burdick holds up there. Rosales takes second. A double, and it's an RBI that cashes in McDonald. Riptide cut into the Colton lead. Just 1 run now.
Nice heads-up play there from Marcos Rosales to realize that we're not focused on him and able to get the extra base and move up to second.
McDonald scores a run. Now it's a 3-2 Colton lead. Still no outs. Runners on second and third still for the Riptide. Burdick's on third. Rosales on second. And you just brought this up. This is Grant MacArthur, a guy who has a lot of power. Haven't seen him leave the yard yet, but looking to do it right here. Bottom of the zone from Lee, 0-1 against MacArthur.
Just because we have not seen him do it yet as a Riptide does not mean that he does not have that pop in his bat.
Really good day against the Barons. 3 for 4 in RBI on Sunday. Struck out in the first against Futami, 0-1. A bouncer towards second. Run scores, and the throw to first gets the first out of the inning, retires MacArthur, but not before Cam Burdick scored from third. It's a tie ball game at 3 here.
Nice job there from MacArthur. Not trying to do too much, just put the ball in play and tie this game up for the Riptide and able to put Rosales just 90 feet away here with less than 2 outs.
An opportunity to regain the lead for the Riptide with Brady Pettit at the plate.
That's sort of been a theme for Orange County of punching back when other teams have big innings.
Yeah, they trailed by 5 going into the top of the 9th yesterday as the pitch misses away. 1 ball, no strikes. 5 runs in the top of the 9th sends it to the bottom of that and just unable to come out on top as the Foresters walked it off. 1-0, strike 1 from Lee. Rosales is on third, 90 feet from home.
Oh, we saw the Riptide do the same thing against Arroyo Seco. So the last 2 times that Riptide pitching has given up 4 or more runs in an inning, the Riptide have answered back by either scoring more or at least the same amount of runs that they just gave up.
Lee, the 1-1. Low and outside for ball 2. Brady Pettit batting .333 coming into tonight's game on a 2-game hit streak. Two one is low once again from Matt Lee. 3 balls and 1 strike. So Matt Lee not having the inning he would have liked. Still 2 outs to get here, and Brady Pettit looking to cash in Rosales at third. 3-1 pitch. Towering high fly ball to center field. Notori settles under it, makes the grab. Rosales tags from third, and he scores. Riptide regained the lead, 4-3 here in the bottom of the third.
Great job from both MacArthur and Pettit. Just they knew that productive outs were all that they needed to do, and they did exactly that. And the Riptide go from trailing after giving up 2 runs to answering back and taking the lead.
2 away, bottom of the third. Kobe Moran, the new batter. No batting gloves on today. Left-handed batter takes a big breath as he steps into the box. Matt Lee looking to get that third and final out. Riptide have scored 3 runs here in the third so far. Hard hit ground ball, 1 bounce to Sabochi over the first, gets the third out of the inning. Riptide able to strike back 3 runs in the third inning. A 4-3 lead headed to the fourth. Tide lead 4-3. It's the fourth inning. Aidan, Pham, Sam Evans with you. Jace Banky is out there on the mound for Orange County, taking over for Alex Ramos. Final line, 3 innings pitched, 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks issued, 2 strikeouts, but Sam, he hit 3 batters.
Yeah, no, didn't have a lot of control out there, but at least able to get through 3 and turn this over to Binky, who also worked in the last non-league game of the year. He pitched against the Marlins, went 2 2/3, gave up only 1 earned run, but for his Riptide stats, got a 13.5 ERA in 2 frames. So not off to the greatest start this year. He's got a 4-pitch mix, a 4-seamer, slider, curveball, and changeup for the right-hander out of Grand Canyon University.
Faces the top of the lineup to start off his day, Jake Notori. 0 for 2 today, a strikeout back in the first and grounded to third in the second. Banky gets set in front of his chest. His first pitch is fouled back by Notori. Banky, a senior right-handed pitcher, played at GCU, Grand Canyon University this year, is in the transfer portal. Yellow gloves, holding a wood bat for Notori. Stares at pitch in the zone for strike 2 from Jace Banky. Spent 2 years at Chandler Gilbert before coming to GCU. looking for a new home this next year. 0-2. Ground ball, right side. Rosales has it. Moran makes the grab at first and retires Jake Nattori.
Nice to see an easy out to start off an inning. The last two frames for the Nighthawks had started off with a hit by pitch and a single, and both those innings led to runs. The run inning that started with an out, no runs for Colton. So hopefully Binky can keep that streak going right here.
Jake Fowler out of Saddleback, the shortstop. 2 hits so far tonight. 1 run scored, pitch low and away from Jace Banky. Riptide lead 4-3 in the top of the 4th. Jace Banky, the new pitcher in the game for the Riptide. Here's 1-0, misses inside. McDonald makes a nice grab. Jace Banky was in the booth with us last week. We'll have another Riptide pitcher tonight for you. That will be in the top of the 5th.
No, for sure. Tommy Maguire, who started yesterday, is going to come up here, and we're excited to talk to him.
2-0, misses inside, so quickly behind in the count. 3-0 is Jace Banky here. And Tommy Maguire pitched yesterday, so we'll definitely talk to him about that. And transferring to GCU in the fall after spending this past season at Cypress College. 3-0, misses upstairs. 4-pitch walk from Jace Banky.
Well, we were told by Binky, or at least I was told by Binky pre-game, he said, obviously I can't come up on pitching today, but if you want to get someone who's really funny, get Tommy Maguire. So I've got high hopes for Tommy when he gets up here. I've chatted with him a little bit, but not as much as some of the other pitchers, so excited to get to know him a little bit more.
Jace Banky and Dylan Nieto up here last week, and that was a fun, as this one sails over the head of Lopez, and Fowler takes second.
Calling that one just a wild pitch feels like an understatement. That was a long way away from his intended area, but I don't know if you saw yesterday in the Rockies-Nationals game, there was a pitch that missed by like 8 feet, so you can definitely see it at the highest level too.
Jace Banky looking to shake that one off. 1-0 count against Lopez. Low outside from Banky. Lopez out of Villa Park, and Jace Banky, like you said, started against the Marlins. Only gave up 1 earned run in 2 2/3 innings pitched. 6 straight balls from him here, though, and this one also a ball. 3 balls and no strikes, as that one was up and in, and Lopez had to twist out of the way to avoid being hit.
Yeah, McDonald's going to come chat with Binky on the mound here, and that feels like a good decision as he's gotten very wild these last 2 hitters.
Trying to avoid throwing 8 straight balls and walking his second batter. We saw Alex Ramos having some trouble finding the zone. He hit 3 batters and walked 2. The Nighthawks able to get 3 runs off of him. Lopez looking to reach for the first time today. Banky looks back at second to 3-0. Strike 1.
Nice to see him get one in the zone, and hopefully it can be the first of many here.
Jace Banky, a 3-1 count. His pitch lined into left field. The windmill around third for Fowler. He scores, and an RBI double from Val Lopez ties this ball game up at 4.
Trading places are Lopez and Fowler, and so, like you said, this game is tied after a nice piece of hitting right there.
Give the Nighthawks credit. They've been able to take advantage of Ramos in 3 innings of pitching, and just when the Riptide regained the lead, they strike back. 4-4 ball game. Gavin Flores with 1 out and a runner on second, looking for his second hit today. Banky. Called ball 1.
Definitely does not feel like either team is going to go quietly here tonight, as both teams have sort of gone back and forth as pitching has struggled to find the strike zone with consistency on both sides.
Banky got the ground out from Notori to start this inning. It was a nice one to second as the 1-0 lined this one into right field. Rounding third, Lopez. The throw won't be home, and the Nighthawks regained the lead 5-4 in the top of the fourth.
A lot of hard hit balls off Jace Binky. Both those were scorched off the bat, so gonna need to try and get some softer contact here.
Nice ground out to start from Notori, but since then has walked Fowler, who came around to score a double from Lopez, and now Flores gets his second hit today. 6 hits through 3 1/3 innings for the Nighthawks. And strike one from Banky to Romero. Romero has been hit twice today, but that was by Ramos.
So if he gets hit a third time, I think he has the right to charge the mound, whether it's intentional or not.
Oh, one bounces in the dirt, gets by McDonald. Flores on second.
Control continues to be an issue for Orange County. We saw that yesterday as Jack O'Malley and Tommy Maguire both really couldn't find the strike zone with any sort of consistency. And again here, after Ramos had 5 men get gifted bases, yet to have one from Binky, but a couple of wild pitches already.
Henry McDonald in his first game as a Riptide has been kept busy tonight so far. 1-1, swing and a miss from Romero.
That was a nice pitch from Jace Binky. Hopefully he can put one more here and get a huge second out in this inning.
Runner on second, Gavin Flores for Sean Romero, who's reached twice today, but both of them by hit by pitches. 1-2. Chopped foul from Romero.
Binky fooled him there with the slider, but just able to get a piece.
We do things at 1-2 between Romero and Jace Banky. 1 out, runner on second, Gavin Flores. The Nighthawks have regained the lead with 2 runs so far in the fourth. They lead 5-4. Banky gets set, 1-2. Grounder to third, picked up by MacArthur. His throw to first in time retires Sean Romero. There's 2 outs in the top of the fourth.
Nice job there from MacArthur to look the runner back and still threw accurately and on time to get Romero out at first.
Jace Banky, second ground out of the inning, looking for the third out. But this is a guy in Seth Correa who's already drawn 2 walks.
His last walk forced in a run back in the third.
First pitch strike to Correa from Banky. Correa going to Colorado State Pueblo. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs, top of the fourth. Low from Banky. 1 ball, 1 strike. Banky, in his first summer with the Riptide, played with the Elizabethan River Riders in the Appalachian League in Tennessee last summer. Played in the Western Canadian Baseball League. Right back to Banky, who has it. Underhands to first. Gets the out there, and we head to the bottom of the fourth. Riptide trailing 5-4. Riptide find themselves trailing once again, 5-4 against the Colton Nighthawks on this Thursday evening in Irvine. Mitch Birdsall to lead things off in the bottom of the fourth for Orange County. Matt Lee back out there.
Birdsall flew out to left last time, and we were talking about it briefly. Sort of lost his job in the Riptide catcher rotation, so headed to Menlo Park on the start of July.
Gets hit by the pitch in the arm from Matt Lee. Jack Salmon was hit by a pitch in the second inning. It's the fifth batter that's been hit tonight. Here comes Salmon.
Yeah, no, it's been a dangerous place to be, that right-handed batter's box. A lot of balls coming in. That one was an off-speed pitch. We've seen some that have been up and in with some more velocity on it.
Birdsall on first for Jack Salmon. Not the start to the summer he would have liked, but looking to get hot here. Up and away from Matt Lee. Pinch hit against the Philippines, 0 for 1 in that game. Against the Barons was 1 for 4. Scored a run, but also struck out 3 times. And against the Foresters yesterday, was able to get aboard with the walk and scored a run. Sends a fly ball out towards center field. Notori racing over and makes the grab to retire Jack Salmon.
Ball was well hit from Salmon, but just ultimately hung up a little bit too long, and Notori was able to make the catch. So Luke Johnson will be next up to try and bring Birdsall at least a little further than first base.
Luke Johnson struck out in the second inning, leads the team with the most strikeouts at this point with 10. Going to get aboard for the first time today. Matt Lee's first pitch is low for ball 1. Johnson in his second summer with the Riptide had a .248 batting average. To start the 2025 summers, batting .111. Lee gets set in front of his chest. Deals a pitch that misses into Luke Johnson. 2 balls, no strikes, 1 out. It's the bottom of the fourth. Colton leads 5-4. Mitch Birdsall is on first after being hit in the arm by the pitch. Johnson takes. Birdsall slides in safely at second. It's his first stolen base of the summer.
You don't see a lot of catchers stealing. Obviously, Birdsall is DHing today, but definitely showing off the wheels.
Johnson ahead in the count here, 3-0. Waves the bat around. Now it settles next to his blue helmet. 3-0. Chopped foul on the left side. Luke Johnson, 3 RBIs this year and leads the team in stolen bases coming into this one. Looking to get the Riptide's 4th hit of the game is Luke Johnson here against Matt Lee. Favorable count, 3 balls and 1 strike. Mitch Birdsall in scoring position at second. Lee looks at second, nods home, 3-1. Low ball 4 and Luke Johnson aboard for the first time today.
Nice job there again from Luke, and takes his walk where it comes. And then Henry McDonald, who had that big double that sparked a 3-run inning for the Riptide in the third, trying to do the same thing right here, but this time be the man who's cleaning up the bases rather than setting the table.
Looking to tie this game up after a 2-run top of the fourth from Colton, regained the 5-4 lead. Takes a pitch low, Henry McDonald. 1-0 the count as Birdsall is on second, Luke Johnson is on first for Orange County. Righty on righty matchup between Matt Lee and McDonald. He played at Franklin Pierce this spring. Sent back fouled. 1-1 strike. At Franklin Pierce, he was 0-2 for Matt Lee. Walked 27 and struck out 30.
Did spend his freshman year at Kansas State, but did not play, so transferred off to Franklin Pierce.
1-1 strike. Runners on first and second. There's one out in the bottom of the fourth. McDonald fouls this one off behind the Colton bullpen. Cam Burdick is warming up in the on-deck circle. Certainly for McDonald here, if he's able to get aboard and give Cam Burdick an opportunity to do some damage. Waits the 1-2 pitch from Matt Lee. Lee, a look back at second now, the 1-2. Low scoots by Luna. Runner takes off at third. The throw won't be on time, and Birdsall 90 feet from home.
Aggressive base running again from Mitchell Birdsall. Already stole the base, and here that ball did not get very far away, and Johnson unable to move up, but Birdsall got a good read on it and was just able to beat that throw down from Luna.
2-2 strikes. Runners on the corner for the Riptide. Johnson takes off. Peel down to first, didn't go around, and Johnson also in scoring position for the Riptide now at second.
Johnson was 3 for 3 on stolen bases. That one won't count to his tally, but I think he can internally count his 4th stolen base of the season without being caught.
Hit by a pitch yesterday and came around to score and called a strike from the home plate umpire. McDonald looked like he was trying to take off for first, but it's a strikeout for Matt Lee.
Tough break there for Henry McDonald, who thought he'd loaded the bases up for Camden Burdick, but instead he goes looking.
4th strikeout of the night for the Nighthawks. And here's Cam Burdick. Leadoff man for the Riptide today with runners in scoring position, but 2 outs. Sends one back foul into the net behind home plate for Burdick.
He's already scored 2 runs in this ball game, so looking to be the one to drive in some runs this time.
Single in the first, came around the score, was walked in the third. There's 3 stolen bases today, and he scored on that balk from Matt Futami. 0-1. Strike 2 from Matt Lee. So now quickly behind to Matt Lee, who is 1 strike away from getting out of this inning. Riptide, the tying run is on third. That's Mitch Birdsall. The 0-2. Called strike 3 from the home plate umpire. The first strikeout of the day for Cam Burdick. The 5th for the Colton Nighthawks ends this inning. Riptide unable to plate any runs. They head to the top of the 5th, trailing 5-4. We speak with Tommy Maguire coming up next. top of the 5th inning here in Irvine, the Colton Nighthawks, 5-4 lead over the Riptide. Damian Casas takes strike one from Jay Spanky. Spanky back out there in the 5th inning as the Nighthawks 2 runs, 2 hits, and 1 left on for them in the 4th. Low and in against Casas, 1-1 the count.
We'll have Tom Maguire up here momentarily. We know he's on the way up from that Riptide bullpen, so it should be just a second before he's here chatting with us.
Meanwhile, a 1-1 count. Misses into the opposite batter's box, and McDonald another nice grab. 2 balls and 1 strike with no outs in the top of the 5th. Damian Casas graduated from Aquinas, going to Cal State Fullerton in the fall. Banky the 2-1, scorched along the right field line, but foul. Evens up the count 2-2 here against Damian Casas.
Hey, Tommy, welcome in. How you doing?
Not too bad. Can't complain.
Got some shaved ice here. It is Hawaiian night after all. So.
Alrighty.
Tommy Maguire joining us as the pitch called strike 3. Strikeout number 3 for the Riptide tonight. Retires Damian Casas.
So, Tommy, you started yesterday. I heard you had some qualms about the mound up in Santa Barbara.
It wasn't great. Their starter didn't do too well either. It was kind of wet, but it's nothing. I should have been able to overcome it, but it is what it is.
Faces Luna here, and the pitch is low. But talk about how you guys trailed by 5 going into the 9th, and this entire summer you guys show resiliency, and feels like a lead is never safe with the OC Riptide.
Yeah, no, it was tie game pretty much from like the 4th inning, I believe, until the 9th or the bottom of the 8th when we gave up a 5 spot. And we kind of knew it's like they're going to bring in a guy that didn't have many innings on the year. It's like we have an opportunity to make this interesting. String a couple hits together, walks. We're a good team. Like we're a team that's going to make pitching staffs and other teams' defenses hurt. And, like you said, we came down 8-3. A couple calls go our way that should have gone our way. That game we win. So, I think that's good. Shout out to the offense that we got. And, for most of our bullpen for holding it down yesterday after I attempted to pitch.
3-0 misses high from Jay Spanky, and ball 4, a 4-pitch walk to Luna.
So, obviously, not the outing you wanted yesterday, but how have you been enjoying your time with the Riptide so far this summer?
Oh, it's awesome. I was here last year. I went to Cypress College, and Coach Ramos is a coach at Cypress College. I remember my first day there last year. He said, what are your plans for summer? I said, I don't have any. He said, yes, you do. And so I was on the Riptide last year. It was great. I knew when I was going to come play summer ball this year, it was going to be a great time. Guys are great, and coaching staff's great. It's just a good time. Can't really beat playing at the Great Park every night. So it's super cool.
Pitch got by McDonald, so Luna in scoring position. But we got snow cones up here. I think we've got to try it out.
Yeah, let's do that. I haven't got to.
Yeah, I can't dig into mine. It's too hard, but
I'm just gonna go straight.
yeah, go. You need more than a plastic spoon.
Pitch sails by McDonald. Runner takes 3rd.
It's pretty good. Got a little orange in there. I think this is pineapple. Solid snow cone.
A lot of syrup as well. That's a good snow. I feel like you can't mess up a snow cone.
No, it's pretty hard to do that.
What's your go-to dessert?
Oh, geez. When they'd closed down just basically every Rite Aid in existence just recently, but back when they were open a couple months ago, they had a Thrifty ice cream. Going there, $1 for a scoop the size of your hand. You can't really beat it. I love that. I just love ice cream in general.
This one gets by McDonald. Sorry to cut you off there. Runner stays put at 3rd. So Jay Spanky on the mound here. Tell us a little bit about Jace.
Jace. So I actually got Malia, the trainer at for the Riptide, is the trainer at Villa Park High School, and I went to Villa Park High School. So she kind of texted me one day and said, "Hey, I'm hosting this guy Jace. He also goes to GCU. He's in the portal right now, but I'm going to GCU." I kind of like, that's cool. So I got to meet him. I was actually probably the first guy he met, and great dude. I mean, he really tries hard out there, and he's a good dude, good teammate. He cares. He cares a lot, and he's been battling, and he's just trying to do his best out there. I think it all goes to how good of a dude he is.
And I know, Sam, you talked to him before the game, and he was your recommendation for us to bring up here in the booth.
All right, there you go.
Yeah, Jace was obviously with us last week, and he said that you were one of the funniest guys on the team. Not to so.
I'll take that. I take pride in that a little bit. So there you go.
So when you're not starting on a day like today, what's your routine look like? Are you just in the bullpen the whole time to hang out in the dugout? What's your move?
I'm more of a dugout guy. You know, I kind of just like to. I'm kind of weird, and I remember everything that happens. Oh, turn that.
Turner
Almost.
first gets the out
Alright.
there run from third, scores at Luna and extends the lead 6-4.
Yeah. So I pitched yesterday. I normally don't throw the day after I pitch, but yeah, I kind of just I showed up. I did my shagging. I'm like I said, I'm more of a dugout guy. I like to be in tune with the game, picking up guys. Try to pick pitchers every now and then. Whenever I do, it's normally a good time. And yeah, I mean, I just enjoy my time out here. It like I said, like last summer, I kind of learned like I learned a lot about the game, and I just keep learning more from other people and applying it to my game. And I just like being around the guys.
Speaking of that, like, we've noticed are you in charge of prepping the baseballs? Because I know you have, I wouldn't call it is it a secret, like, technique that you use to prep the baseballs?
It's not really. I wouldn't call it a secret. I mean, I found it on YouTube. I saw it on a Trevor Bauer YouTube video. You know, he does his thing. So when he was playing in Mexico, I saw the strategy that they were using. I started using it this year at my JUCO, and yeah, I just kind of kept doing it.
And you're talking about using the orange to prep the baseballs?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, potentially suspect, but I don't know.
What does it do to the baseballs? Does it make it like stickier and easier to
I
get
wouldn't-
spin rate, or?
I wouldn't say sticky. I'd say more less slick. I mean, I think it just gives it some kind of texture,
Mhm.
which is normally achieved by a good mud. I mean, like I said, I went to a JUCO. I didn't really have great mud, so I was kind of working with dirt and water. So they make mud for that stuff, and I was having a hard time. A couple of the newer guys were having a hard time at Cypress. I was like, got to find a way to do something because we don't have good mud. So I just had to get some texture any way I could, really.
And speaking of that, you spent this past year at Cypress.
Yes, I was at Cypress College last year and the spring before that.
Yeah. And we know you're going to Grand Canyon. Talk to us about that decision. What was it about Grand Canyon that made it your next destination?
Yeah, I mean, so I had some offers from some other schools. I was talking to some other schools, but I went out on my visit to Grand Canyon, and the coaches and I talked to the coaches on the phone and like texting me. It's like they'd text me damn near every day. It was like I really felt wanted, and when I went on my visit, it was awesome. Like they played Seattle. They took the series from Seattle and like showed me around, gave me a good dinner. You know, great hospitality, loved the campus, gave me a good offer. So I was like, this seems like the place I want to be. And it's a cool area. It's a great school. So, you know, it can't really get much better than that.
Jay Spanky gets the strikeout to end the top of the fifth. We'll take a quick break. More from Tommy Maguire when we come back.
Back here from the Great Park, Sam Evans alongside Aidan Pham. We're joined by Tommy Maguire. The Riptide are trailing 6-4 here in the bottom of the fifth. Marcos Rosales, Grant MacArthur, Brady Pettit due up here for the Riptide. And Tommy, we were talking to you about, a lot of different stuff, changing up the baseball and all that. But is there a particular guy in the dugout or in the bullpen who you think is especially funny?
Yeah. So I have two answers for this. I'm going to give you a sneaky answer of Bradley Navarro.
Okay.
Wow. He was at Cypress with me this year. He's a quiet dude, doesn't say much. Like, it's hard to get him to talk, but he has his moments. It's more like his face. Like, you just look at him, he's like, why is that funny? But it is.
Okay.
And then the answer that I think that I'm surprised people haven't said yet is Jimmy's a car.
Oh, Jimmy's funny.
That guy's hilarious. I love that guy. He played with one of my high school teammates at UCSB last year, and I was kind of talking to him about him. He's like just a funny dude. Just like always has something to say. It's always perfectly comedically timed. It's awesome. I love Jimmy. He's a funny dude. Him and Brad.
No, yeah, me and Aidan were next to Jimmy on the bus yesterday up to Santa Barbara, and Jimmy was cracking everyone up the entire time. Definitely that's the right answer right there.
Bradley Navarro, though, I'm pretty surprised with that answer. Navarro, a very nice guy.
But yeah, like you said, he's very quiet. He's
very
definitely
quiet,
not.
Yeah. That's why I said it's a sneaky answer. I was his teammate during the season too at Sipes, so I mean, like I've known him for a little longer than most people. It's like when you hear it from him, it's there. It's rare. It's few and far between, but it's good.
For sure. 3-1 here to Rosales. He'll swing and ground one over to shortstop. Fowler fields, throw one to first. Offline, but the tag is applied, so one down here for the Riptide in the bottom of the fifth.
There's a lot of Cypress guys on this roster, Justin Tiller being another one of them. What's that like, getting to play summer ball with your teammates back at Cypress?
Yeah. So we got me and Tiller and Brad, and then I think he was on a 10-day, and I think he's going to tread and then maybe coming back. Jake Spence was also at Cypress 2 years ago, if you didn't know that. Cypress is just like the guys that I met when I went there. I transferred there from Cal State Fullerton. The guys I met at Cypress, the players, the coaches, it's just quality, and there's a reason why we won 39 games this year. It was just, which is a lot for a JUCO, maybe not for a D1, but it's a lot for a JUCO. But just being able to be teammates with those guys again, like Brad, like he was our leadoff hitter, great dude. Tiller broke record upon record upon record this year. Just guys that I got to meet and got to keep playing with. Super cool. I love it.
Speaking of Bradley, obviously he's been so awesome for the Riptide this year. Can you just talk about, like, did you see this coming where he's hitting, 650 and feels like he's on base every single time he's at the batter's box?
I mean, that's kind of how he was at Cypress. I mean, to start the year, like, pre-conference, like, he won't mind me saying this. He was bad. He was 2 for his first 43.
Ooh.
So and then he got in a conference game, got a hit. He got a pinch hit in the next game, hit a homer. Started the next game, hit a homer, and then from there he just didn't stop, just producing. Like like I said, he went from 2 for 43 to first team All OEC, which is pretty good. Pretty good.
That was pretty solid.
So, Brad, and then I knew, he carried it on throughout playoffs. He didn't get any kind of college interest until the Final Four, which we made. He got Utah right then and there, and then it was, I knew that guy was going to be able to go Power 4, Power 5. And he's showing why he is. I mean, like you said, hitting 650. How many at-bats has he not struck out? What's 28, 29 now?
Yeah, he only has one all season. He has 9 walks. Pettit will single to left to put 2 on here for the Riptide.
Brad's a beast.
28 straight, I have it as coming into yesterday. Leads the team with the most hits as well. And on base and hit streaks, he does it all for the Riptide.
Least surprising stat I've seen right there.
So going back to you, do you have a particular pitcher that you, at the major league level, that you idolize or love the way they pitch or anything like that?
I mean, kind of like what I said earlier with the Oranges was Trevor Bauer. I mean, I think it's easy for people to idolize that guy, when it comes to pitching standpoint, just because he's so public with everything he does. he tells you what he does, and it's there. He's there for you to replicate. So like my pitch repertoire, fastball, slider, cutter, split is basically exactly what Trevor Bauer throws. Obviously, he's in Japan right now. Big league pitcher. I wouldn't say I try to copy anyone, but I love Jose Soriano right now. I'm an Angels fan. He's on a heater right now. He struck out like 19 in his last 2 outings. So, like guys like that. I mean, I just like guys who have nasty stuff. You know, it's fun to be nasty. It's fun to throw a lot of good pitches that move a lot. So I try to do the same thing. That's why I throw like, you have my pie chart somewhere, like 48% cutters, something stupid like that. But yeah, that's kind of like what I like to do. I have a lot of pitches and I like to throw them. And I think that's what I learned from Trevor Bauer, being a guy that I'd model my game after. And then, yeah, that's that sort of thing.
You talked about being an Angels fan. Have you gotten Jack Salmon to bring his Uncle Tim down at some point?
No, he said when I learned that Jack was on the team, like, oh, that's awesome, because he played at Golden West when I was at Cypress. He hit a couple homers off us in a game and we lost, so boo that. But yeah, when I learned he was on the team, I already knew he was a cool dude. And then I wasn't the one to ask him about his uncle, but someone did, and he said, yeah, he might be coming out to a couple games. Like, I think it might have been Mike that didn't believe that Tim Salmon was his uncle, but Jack's more than willing to prove it. Like, he said he was going to pull up with the World Series ring. I'm like, that'd be cool. That'd be nice. Like,
Yeah. Mike as in Mike Ersbaumer?
yeah, Ersbaumer, yeah.
Talk about Mike Ersbaumer, just a freshman, graduated high school on opening day, and man, has he had a good summer for the Riptide so far.
Yeah, Mike is. I mean, I remember. So I'm still friends with a lot of guys. Like the what's this team? The Nighthawks have the third baseman and the right fielder. They both just graduated from Villa Park too. So I'm still very much connected. My little brother was on the team this year. I kept up with high school baseball, and last year when Villa Park played San Clemente, Mike pitched against him, and I was at that game, and I remember him. And when I knew that he was coming, I was like, I know this guy's a dude, and he's going to Stanford for a reason. Like, he's thrown 8 innings for us, like striking out the world. Not many free passes, not many hits. Here you go, Colby.
Colby Moran sends one off the wall out in right center. At least one run will score. They're going to hold the other. So it's 6-5 here. MacArthur comes around to score Pettit to third as Colby Moran rips a double, his first extra base hit of the season here.
Yeah. Mike's a beast. And then the other thing about Mike, too, is if I didn't say the two funniest were Jimmy and Brad, Mike's number 3. Mike was my next option. That guy's a funny guy. And he's freshman, so a little, you know, we make fun of him a little bit. He takes it well. So that's the good thing, too.
Yeah, we were outside the other day on the radio call, and we can kind of hear Mike Ersbaumer from the dugout. I think that was against the Barons, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So obviously on the bus back from Santa Barbara, there was some mafia going on. I have to ask, how did you do? Were you able to defeat the mafia? Were you the mafia?
I narrated the whole time.
Okay.
So last year I'd never played Mafia before, and I just learned how to play, and then Max Senesac, he's in the portal right now. He was at LMU. He was on the team last year. Shout out Max. He would narrate a lot, and I just kind of tried to emulate what Max did with his storytelling and whatnot. And yeah, then when not a lot of guys at Cypress had ever played it, so when we went to Vegas this year in the fall, I kind of taught guys how to play, and I kind of taught myself how to narrate at the same time. So we didn't play for all that long yesterday. If we would have kept playing, Nieto would have taken over for me. But yeah, no, I like to narrate it. I think that's a fun part, just to kind of have a little bit of control as to what's going on.
I feel like narrating is almost the announcing of Mafia.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I think you're well suited. If one of us needs to, fall over, you can take over and call the game right here.
Sure.
Drops in there. Birdsall's got 2 men on in scoring position here. He was hit by a pitch last time up, and obviously Mitchell's not going to be part of the catching lineup as much as he's off to Menlo Park, it sounds like, to start off July. But can you talk about what he's been, at least in his time around the team so far?
Birdsall?
Yeah, Birdsall.
Yeah, that's news to me, first of all. So good luck to Mitch. Yeah, no, Mitch is a good dude. I mean, he's from NorCal. He went to Kansas, went to JUCO. Yeah, no, Mitch is a good dude. I mean, he knows how to compete. He likes to compete. I mean, he's also kind of a quieter dude, but I mean, everything I've seen him do, he's a great player, great hitter, good dude. Yeah, I have nothing bad to say about Mitch.
Ground that one weakly. It looks
That's
like Birdsall's going to reach base, so way to load up the bases there.
And just when the Riptide were trailing, they come back striking bases loaded, just down by one with one out here.
We've seen, I feel like, a lot of that resiliency where, against Arroyo Seco, you give up 4 and you answer back with 5. And yesterday, obviously, gave up 5 in the 8th and answered back with 5 in the ninth. How much does that help you as a pitcher when you just see the dugout sort of come to life after a bad inning on the defensive side?
Yeah, I mean it's encouraging. It's just showing that guys aren't they're not going tail between the legs and just quitting and rolling over to die. Like it shows that you're here to play. You want to play. We've already had 2 walk-off wins this year, which is that's cool. And yeah, it just kind of shows that we're a good team, and if we don't show it 1 through 8, we'll show it in the ninth. We don't show it 1 through 7, we'll show it in the 8th and ninth. Like it's just that kind of thing. It's like, it's summer ball. We're still all getting used to each other. We're pretty used to each other right now. Game 13 or 14, this is or whatever. But it just shows that our dugout, when we're alive, and it's fun. So and then we do better when we're alive. That's part of why I like to be in the dugout so much, is just trying to get people going.
Are you going to be the designated Gatorade carrier? I saw Bradley got dumped in right field after his walk-off on Sunday.
That was Show okay. Garcia. Yeah. So me and him were kind of like, do you want to do it? You want to do it? I was like, no, you got it. Like he was already kind of, he seemed like he really wanted to do it. So I'm like, all right, Show, you got it, buddy. That's all you.
Do you have a favorite flavor of Gatorade not to dump on anyone, just to drink?
Yeah. So there's a new Gatorade. It's like they just came out with it. It's like the Gatorade Fusions or whatever. They just came out with a Fruit Punch X Cool Blue flavor. It's like it literally like they showed it in a factory on a YouTube video. They're just pouring vats of Cool Blue and Fruit Punch together and putting it in a bottle. So that's what it tastes like, and it's pretty good. I like it a lot.
Got to do what you got to do right
You
there.
gotta,
Find out some new flavors and make it work.
It's a big pitcher with Jack Salmon, bases loaded.
Yeah, bases loaded, 3-2 count. It's definitely time to party right here. Lee still in this game, working into his 3rd inning. That one's laced off the glove. It'll turn into a double play, but it gets away instead. So the Riptide will get 2 runs here. That one was almost a terrible break for the Riptide. That one bounced off Matt Lee's glove and fielded cleanly by the second baseman, Sabucci, but stepped on second for 1. His throw to first was wild, so only got 1 out, and 2 runs came across for the Riptide.
And just like that, Riptide regained the lead 7-6, and wow. And talking about just this summer with the Riptide, obviously Coach Brian Evans now in his head coaching position, but what's it been like working with him as he serves as the pitching coach also?
Yeah, so I know last year and in the past, he was the pitching coach at Golden West. When I was deciding a JUCO to go to, Golden West was one of my options, so I remember meeting Brian before I ended up going to Cypress, and I knew that he was real. He's the real deal. He's a really good coach. I got to learn from him last summer, got some tweaks done that helped me. He basically hurt himself by helping me in terms of Golden West versus Cypress, but it just kind of goes to show that he cares about his guys, and him being the head coach this year, taking over for Connor Spencer, who was a great coach also. Really good. I think Brian's really good. Cares about his guys. He'll stick up for the guys. He was yelling, he was yelling all sorts of things at the umpire yesterday, deservedly so, but yeah, like he'll stick up for his guys. He keeps it short, keeps it sweet, and yeah, he's really good at what he does. He's gonna do good things.
Is there anything in particular that he's working on you from a pitching standpoint, or is it more just of a leader of men type job for him?
So last year it was a mechanical thing. I mean, he helped me. He made some tweaks, tried some stuff with me. I mean, one, I was going to have to go back to JUCO last year, so he's like, all right, let's get this guy as good as he can be. This year, obviously, I'm already going to GCU, so it's not really in his discretion right now. But it's not. I mean, as otherwise, except for yesterday, I've been pitching pretty well, so there's not a lot of things that I don't think he felt I needed to change or had the need to try and change. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of a thing that I've always thought of myself, someone who's very mentally tough, and he just kind of helps it. There you go, LJ.
That one's laced down the line by Johnson. Salmon was off on the play, so he's going to come around to score easily, and the Riptide extend their lead to 8-6. They double laced down the line from Luke Johnson. He hasn't had the greatest start to the year, so good to see him get going right now.
Johnson was another guy who you played with last summer as well, right?
Yeah, LJ was with us last year. Obviously from Cornell, still at Cornell. Great dude. I mean, he like you said, he just hit that ball. It's like you said, not a great start right now, but he had a stretch last year where he just went ballistic, and hopefully that starts it this year. I mean, he's a great dude, good at ball. Just he's a good player. I mean, he came back. He's from around here. Went to Santa Margarita, I believe. Local guy, so local guys, Orange County, you're not going to find much better baseball. LJ is one of those guys.
The Henry McDonald, the new catcher at the plate. Have you gotten a chance to talk to Henry since he joined the Riptide just a couple days ago?
A little bit. He also strikes me as a quieter dude, from SLO, and yeah, that's really all I know about him. But it seems like a good dude. He had a pretty good night so far at double and a wrong strikeout call, but we'll look past that.
Yeah, how loud was Coach Evans on that strike three there?
See, that's what I was talking about. He said, he very bluntly, I'm not going to repeat it on the air. Let's just put it that way.
Well, I'm glad that we've got discretion exercised here. So how much of a challenge is it when there's been a lot of different catchers? Obviously, McDonald's here now, but we've seen Zach Crandall come in. We've seen Zakar. We've seen Birdsall and even Daniel Troncale. Like, for you guys as a pitching staff to deal with that.
Yeah, like I've thrown to all three of them this year. I threw to Trunk my first time, and then Jimmy, and then Crandall yesterday.
Just able to beat the throw down there is Luke Johnson.
Yeah, I mean these guys are all collegiate catchers. Like you're not gonna get, if you're playing in college up to this point, you're gonna be good. So Trunk's an incoming freshman, so he'd had some learning to do. I'd shake him off a lot and kind of tell him why afterwards, and then we just kind of learned off each other off of that. And yeah, working with Jimmy was great. And then like I said, I tried to pitch yesterday to Crandall, but it wasn't his fault. So and I've seen he did well yesterday. Clutch hit, blocked one off his Adam's apple, just a warrior back there, UCI guy. So it's I think the catchers are great. I love catchers. I always stick up for my catchers. I mainly threw to one at Cypress last year, but it was that's just kind of how it lined up. But it's not. I don't really. Obviously, I like to have a good catcher, but at this level, you're not really ever going to have a bad one.
So we have a mound visit here. The Riptide are going to send all 9 men to the plate here in this inning. They've already scored 4 runs to turn a 6-4 deficit into an 8-6 lead. When you're on the mound and you have Coach Evans come out for one of these visits, is it usually a mechanical thing he's talking about, or is it more just sort of motivation, or what is it that he talks about?
Normally just to give us a break. Like last week when I pitched against the Philippines, I was kind of in a jam. He just kind of said, come out here, get a reset, give you a little break here. Just stay within yourself, just do what you need to do. I mean, that's probably. I mean, I don't know about here. This I don't know this coach. He might be tearing into his infield right now. I don't know, but. But yeah, I mean, really, it kind of depends on the situation. But with Evans, like I said, like he knows that his guys are good players, and sometimes just need a little breather. Yeah, I think that's could be what this is for this guy, but that's normally what it is for Brian.
Mm-hmm. And obviously, you've got a pretty lengthy relationship with him. When you have a start that doesn't go your way, like yesterday, did you talk to him about it at all, or was it just sort of flush it and move on?
Yesterday, I kind of let him. I got pulled in the first inning. He had 8 2/3 more innings to coach, so
right.
I kind of let him do his thing. And I talked to him today before the game, just kind of asking me if I felt, if it was a body thing, a mechanics thing, if I was tired. And I told him straight up, kind of like what we opened with out here. I kind of told him, like, I don't see myself as an excuses guy. But then I showed him a picture of the bottom of my cleats after I pitched. He was like, oh, well, understandable.
What was it with the bottom of the cleats?
The dirt was sticking to it.
Okay.
And then, like, the Foresters starter had a tough time with it yesterday, too. I talked to my buddy who was on the Foresters. He said that their guy was saying the same thing. So, like I said before, I should have been able to overcome it, and I didn't. Kind of pulled me at the right time to stop the bleeding. Hickey did an amazing job yesterday. So, yeah, I mean, that's all. I just kind of flush it and go on to the next outing. Like, that's kind of my mindset with it. So I know that there was some things I couldn't control that I let beat me, and some things that I could control that I also let beat me. So it's kind of stuff that I have to learn with.
Well, thank you so much for chatting with us, Tommy. We'll let you get back to the dugout, but we very much appreciate it, and we'll see you back on the mound, hopefully in better fashion soon.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you
Thank you
joining
so much.
us.
Bye-bye.
Welcome back to Great Park in Irvine, and we want to remind you that Experian is your BFF, your big financial friend, big enough to have the resources and knowledge that have an impact, personal enough to help you with what's best for only you. No matter where you are in your financial journey, your big financial friend is a trustworthy companion by your side. Wherever you are in your financial journey, your big financial friend is ready to help you navigate the smartest way to reach all your personal financial goals with solutions you can trust. This is Experian, your big financial friend for life. For more information, go to Experian.com.
Thanks, Aidan. Jack Morrissey on the mound here as we begin the top of the sixth. 8-6 Riptide. Morrissey will sail that one up and away. And the line on Binky, 2 innings, couple of hits, 3 runs, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. But at this moment, he's actually in line for the win as a result of the Riptide scoring 4 last frame. Morrissey will catch the outside corner to even up the count 1-1. Morrissey, the first left-hander the Riptide have thrown at this lineup.
And we had Maguire up here, but that was a really solid inning from the Riptide. 4 runs and regained the lead.
No, they were stringing hits together. It's the 2-1 count now after that one misses down and in. But yeah, it was a great opportunity there for the Riptide to go from trailing by 2 to up by 2. It's their second big inning of this game. That one misses down and away. But Colton has scored in 4 straight frames. So if Morrissey can come in and throw up a 0 for the first time since the first inning of this ball game, that'd be huge for Orange County. That one will miss down. So leadoff walk here to Val Lopez, the right fielder.
And it was control issues for Ramos and Benke that kind of plagued them in their outings tonight. And so far, Morrissey gives up the walk to Lopez. So trying to figure that one out as he settles in.
That's his first walk as a member of the Riptide. He's worked 3 scoreless innings so far. 3 hits, no walks, as I said, and has struck out 4 batters. So hopefully he can limit those control issues. As he misses up and away to Gavin Flores. Good spot here to insert Morrissey with Flores, Correa, and Casas. 3 of the next 4 hitters are all left-handed, so got the platoon advantage, does Morrissey. big swing and a miss. That'll send Flores spinning out of the batter's box there.
And Flores has been pretty aggressive today. 2 hits already.
No, yeah, both teams have been very aggressive and swing early in counts. 14 runs already scored in this game. He'll swing and miss again, though. So up 1-2 in the count, Morrissey. He's just got a 2-pitch mix, a 4-seam fastball and then a slider as his put-away pitch. So only 2 options for Henry McDonald, which I'm sure makes it easier for the new catcher to get what the pitcher wants him to throw. That slider misses down and away, so count evens at 2.
McDonald in his first start and has looked pretty well. He's been kept busy by the pitchers tonight. He's done a nice job at bat as well. Had that double back in the 3rd.
That one is hit well out towards right field, but got a beat on it is Jack Salmon, and a big first out here. He'll throw back to Colby Moran, but not in time to get Lopez racing back.
It's the first out of the 6th inning here, and a lot of balls have been hit pretty well by Colton and the Riptide tonight.
You know, that ball was scorched, but Salmon had it played perfectly, so good first out here is Sean Romero, who's been hit already by a pitch twice. He was very frustrated, especially the second time, but trying to get his first hit of the ball game. He'll take a strike on the outer half here, so 0-1. Lopez still over on first here after his leadoff walk. Another nice pitch on the outer half from Morrissey, so quickly ahead, 0-2. Jack Morrissey had pitched pretty recently through 2 innings and did not give up an earned run against the Barons on Sunday. Gets a fly ball out towards right field. Charging in is Salmon. It's going to drop, but they're going to throw onto second in time to get the fielder's choice. Heads up play from Jack Salmon. That ball dropped in, so a nice out for the Riptide.
Yeah, exactly like you said. Nice job by Jack Salmon. Gets the out at second, and now just 1 out away for Morrissey to get out of this inning. Jack Salmon out there in right field has done a nice job tonight, and it's got to feel really good for Morrissey when you come in the game and you know the defense has your back.
Certainly picking him up there. That one would have been a frustrating bloop single, but Lopez sort of was caught between a rock and a hard place. Didn't know whether to stay back towards first or hustle up to second and potentially get doubled off. So instead had to stay close to the first base bag, and the Riptide take advantage to get the second out here. With Seth Correa at the plate now, another left-hander. Takes a strike on the outer half there. For the Riptide, definitely trying to get a huge 0 and then let these already red-hot bats come right back up and try and extend what's a 2-run lead. Another strike on the outer half from Morrissey. So second straight batter he's been ahead 0-2 of.
Morrissey looked pretty good on Sunday in that appearance against the Barons. Had some adversity, but was able to get out of it with no runs given up.
So 0-2. That one will miss away, able to hold off his Correa. But a nice play again from Henry McDonald to get out and get a glove to that baseball, because it easily could have scooted to the backstop when it's sliding away from you. It's so tricky to get in front of and block. So 1-2. This time he did go around. McDonald can't find the baseball, though. He'll have to try and hurry, and he has no play. So a strikeout, but reaches on the wild pitch after Henry McDonald lost the baseball.
And that's got to be frustrating for McDonald, who has been great tonight for the Riptide. That time just lost the baseball, and runners on first and second now for Colton.
So tough spot here for Morrissey after he got the strikeout to hopefully get out of the inning, but instead you don't get the out, and now you've got 2 men on for Damian Casas, who's driven in a run on a sac fly, but he's 0 for 2 today. One misses down and away. Casas from CSU Fullerton. As McDonald will come out to chit-chat with Morrissey about what to do. It's a quick meeting, so they're back to their respective mound and area behind home plate.
That's a good job by McDonald to check on his pitcher, showing some leadership there. And We talked about how Zach Crandall has done a nice job behind the plate at catcher. McDonald trying to make his case for why he should get some more playing time with the Riptide.
So 1-0. That one is in there for a strike, so 1-1 count. Certainly, errors are always very frustrating, especially on those strikeouts. Strikeouts always should be outs, but there is the way to reach on them, and so instead you've got to deal with a real jam here. That one catches the zone, though, so 1-2 count. Morris just a pitch away from getting a fourth out this inning. Sort of feels like both teams have given one as the, Nighthawks lost runner on the base pass, and then you gave up the wild pitch to stolen base. That one's fouled off to the right side.
And the Nighthawks have done a good job just finding a way to get guys aboard, whether it's a hit by pitch, a walk, or getting a hit, and they've done a nice job taking advantage of that as well.
So 1-2 again after the foul ball here as Morrissey tries to get the Riptide bats back up with a 2-run lead here. That one is hit high in the air out to right field. Salmon settles under it, takes a few steps in, but he'll make the catch. So the Riptide put up a 0 for the first time since the first inning. They lead 8-6 headed to the bottom of the 6th. Welcome back here to the Great Park, bottom of the 6th. 8-6 Riptide League, and you've got 2, 3, 4, Rosales, MacArthur, and Pettit coming up. If that sounds familiar, it's because they came up last inning, too, when the Riptide sent all 9 men to the plate, scored 4 runs off of Matt Lee, who's still in this ball game for Colton. Now, not a lot of arms available. He drops that one in for a strike, but that's sort of the tough parts of being these non-affiliated teams like the Nighthawks is they sort of have to leave Lee out there. They don't really have anyone else who can throw.
Yeah, not a lot of depth at all at any position, and that's tough, like you said, in these positions where you kind of have to leave a guy out there and force him to figure it out.
Nothing in 2 here on Rosales. We saw pregame when both teams went out for the anthem. The Nighthawks had just 12 guys there, so pretty much their entire roster is on the field at any given moment. Nothing in 2 here on Rosales. That one misses high. The Riptide have only struck out 5 times so far tonight, 2 of which came back in the first inning, so they've done a better job avoiding strikeouts recently. Rosales has been on base twice. He's got a single, a walk, and then a ground out. He'll take high again, so 2-2 as the count evens up. Drove in a run with his single back in the third, and he was called out on the base pass after sort of a controversial caught stealing where they argued that Grant MacArthur interfered with the attempt to throw down to gun out Rosales. So 2-2. He lifts that one out towards right field. It's chasing Lopez back, but Lopez makes a nice catch. Didn't look like the cleanest route, but able to get his glove to the ball, which is all that matters.
Not pretty, but gets the job done. Kind of maybe misplayed it, but reached out and made the catch was Lopez and one away.
Yeah, no style points in the scorebook. It's a fly out to right all the same. So Grant MacArthur, who singled and scored last inning. He also had driven in a run on an RBI ground out back in the third. Comes up here for the Riptide with the bases empty, 1 down in this 8-6 game. Leal fired in. MacArthur swings at the first pitch, drops that one cleanly into center field for a base hit. So he's got 2 hits up the middle in the last 2 innings here.
Nice job by MacArthur, and yeah, what a great game he's having. Back-to-back hits, had that RBI back in the third, and has been a bright spot for the Riptide today.
Yeah, after having a 3-hit day on Sunday, his next opportunity to play comes on Thursday after the off day, and then you had the issue at Santa Barbara's bus. So some Riptide guys who haven't played in a couple of days, but doesn't look like it's cooled off MacArthur one bit. He's got 5 hits in his last 7 at-bats. That one catches the bottom of the zone towards Pettit, so down 0-1. Pettit also singled and scored last inning. Had a sac fly back in the third. So pretty similar day to MacArthur. They actually both struck out in the first as well. So sort of mirroring each other so far. He's down 0-2 here, though. Pettit was late to join the Riptide. He was injured, or he was busy with St. Mary's. They were off in the College World Series, but now here at the Riptide after the Gales elimination, and he's gotten a hit in both of his first 2 games so far. He lines that one. It is not caught. It'll actually scoot under the glove into center field. So Sabocci botched that one, and that one gets through, and the Riptide have 2 men aboard with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th.
Way to get aboard by Brady Pettit, I guess. Take advantage and runners on first and second. But I like that use of vocab over there, Sam.
Thanks, I appreciate it. It's an error on Sabocci, as he probably could have caught that ball and potentially doubled off MacArthur. If he just kept it in front of him, he certainly would have had MacArthur out at second. But instead, runners on first and second for Colby Moran, who had that big hit, the double that plated a run last inning. Moran takes a strike on the inside half here. So Pettit, who already had extended his hitting streak from 2 to 3, gets on board again with that sharply hit ball that leads to the error. Colby Moran has light tower power. It'd be awesome to see him unlock that right here. 0-1 from Lee. That one is laced but foul. Nice acrobatics there from Zach Thomas, who leapt out of the way of that one.
And the first base umpire, too, as it ricocheted off the fence and came flying right back at him.
Well, it got a piece of the first base umpire. ZT, as they call him over at first base, was able to get out of the way completely. So
you get points for attempting to get out of the way.
For sure, but more points for actually doing so. So Zach Thomas should be Olympic game bound for his dodging skills. 0-2, though, here on Moran. That one will get away, so the runners will each scoot up 90 feet. 1-2 count after that one missed way down and in.
And the Riptide, the past couple of innings have been really good. 4 back in the 5th and threatening once again here in the 6th.
Yes, 3 in the 3rd as well, and a chance to blow this game open. You've got the potential 9th and 10th runs in scoring position. Colton will bring the infield in all the way around. So if Moran can hit one sharply that finds outfield grass, 2 runs will score. Instead, it'll miss down and in. It'll bounce hard off the backstop, so no advance for either runner. But 2-2 count. Looks like that one actually may have gotten Moran's legs, so he's going to get to reach off to first. Bases are now loaded after I think hit by pitch is generous, more of a grazed by pitch than anything.
Yeah, I was going to say it definitely may have grazed him just a little bit. It wasn't anything hard, but Kobe Moran will take it nonetheless. He's on, and the bases are loaded for Birdsall.
Birdsall, who had an infield single last inning. He also had reached on a hit by pitch back in the fourth. So now with the bases loaded, it's time for him to do some damage right here. First pitch here to Birdsall with the bases loaded. He'll take it for a ball up. Birdsall hasn't had a ton of playing time recently, sort of faded out of that catcher discussion, which is why he decided to move to Menlo Park, but trying to show that the Riptide are missing out on something right here. He'll wave at that one. So 1-1 count. He has 2 RBIs this season, but he did strike out 4 times in his 8 at-bats so far this year, coming into today. He's not struck out in any of his 3 so far. 1-1 here on the catcher from San Jacinto College. He'll take a strike on the outer half, so 1-2.
For Birdsall here, a fly ball gets the job done. Looking for his first RBI today after reaching twice already.
So 1-2, time to battle here if you're Birdsall. Lee will kick and fire. That one misses inside, so count evens at 2. Again, the runner at third, Grant MacArthur at second, Brady Pettit, and at first, Colby Moran. Riptide are yet to score in this inning, but did score 4 times last frame, and they're looking to keep that offensive prowess going right here. Birdsall's ready in the batter box for the 2-2. That one is lifted out towards right field. Lopez moving over. He'll make the catch. MacArthur coming in to score. Moving over to third is Pettit. So it'll be runners at the corners in this now 9-6 ball game after Birdsall lifts a sac fly out to right field.
And the fly ball gets the job done. Scores the runner from third. Riptide extend their lead. And still no action going on in the bullpen for the Nighthawks as they're going to let Matt Lee figure it out. And this is the second inning where he's found himself in some trouble.
They're going to have a meeting here on the mound. But it'll be Jack Salmon when this meeting is adjourned. He'll walk back towards the Riptide dugout. Looks like it will, in fact, be Lee's day. He's given the baseball back. Not quite sure who's going to come in. It looks like center fielder Jake Nattori is running in. So presumably while Hunter Dawson is running out towards the outfield. So some defensive changes here from Colton when we come back. Welcome back here to the Great Park. So the new pitcher is former center fielder Jake Naturi. Replacing him in center is Robert De La Torre. This means that the Nighthawks will lose their DH, so Seth Corria's day is done. Runners at the corners here for Jack Salmon. With 2 outs, he'll take ball 1. In this game, the Riptide lead 9-6.
Torrey, like you said, coming in from center field, didn't get too much time to warm up and looking for 1 out.
That one drops in there, so count even at 1. We'll see if he's able to overcome that sort of difficulty with not having a lot of time to get ready to go. Jack Salmon reached on a fielder's chase and scored last inning. He also was hit by a pitch earlier in the game. He'll swing and foul that one back, so 1-2.
Salmon's still one of those guys looking to get going for the Riptide this summer. Was really good at Golden West College, went to Hawaii last year, and Riptide would love to see some production out of him here.
1-2 on the way to Salmon. He'll take a ball down. I think for Salmon, the issues have been he struck out a lot this season. He's got 8 strikeouts coming into this game, and he's done a good job avoiding the punch out so far today, but with 2 strikes, he's got to do the same right here. Runner at first, Moran. Runner at third, Pettit. 2-2 misses high, so it'll be a 3-2 count, which means Moran will be off on the pitch. 2 outs here in this inning. Moran does go. That one called strike 3. They said that he went around. So the Riptide leave a couple, but they get 1. 9-6 lead here, headed to the 7th. Back here, top of the 7th at Great Park in Irvine. Sam Evans alongside Aidan Pham. Orange County leading the way 9-6. Jack Morrissey out for his 2nd inning of work after putting up a 0 last time. He'll deal with the bottom of the order. 8-hitter Coyote Luna, Emilio Cibachi, and then Jake Naturi, who just moved to the pitcher spot after playing center fielder, due up here.
Looks like Jaden Medina is in the game now, hitting for Luna.
Indeed. So Medina will wave and miss at that one. Nothing in 1 count. A lot of interesting roster spots here for the Nighthawks. There's not that many names on their roster sheet. as that one's fouled off to the right side.
It's a pretty young roster as well. Most of these guys are recent high school graduates, just getting some experience playing against college guys.
So 0-2 on the newly inserted Medina. Misses the outer half here, so 1-2 count. Coach Evans appeared to have some words there. He looked like he was laughing and smiling, but perhaps sarcastically. That one swung on, foul, but it'll be thrown down in time. So this time McDonald's able to corral the loose ball and throw down to first in time for the strikeout.
Tires Medina, one quick out, and Sabochi here. And down by 3 runs, the Nighthawks are going to look to start something here in the 7th.
Certainly need to get it going, but they scored in all 4 of the 2nd through 5th innings. So this offense definitely potent. That one catches the bottom of the zone as Sabochi takes a strike. Though 0-1 is well inside. Sabochi darts out of the way, so count will even at 1-1. Morrissey from Belmont. He played in California for his whole life. He's from Ladera Ranch, but getting to spend the summer with Orange County here as he throws in a strike to make it 1-2.
Really good career at San Juan Hills High School. Won a league championship there and goes to Belmont now.
So 1-2 here. That one misses outside. Not just a athlete, he was a 4-time scholar athlete while there at San Juan Hills. So getting it done both in the classroom and on the playing surface. So 2-2. That one is lifted out towards left field. It's going to get down in front of Luke Johnson. So a 1-out single here from Sabochi.
Sabochi gets his first hit of the day, and wow, this Nighthawk offense, like you talked about, definitely potent, and they don't go down.
And so it'll be Jake Nattori here. Nattori entered the game last inning, got the last out of the bottom of the 6th. He's now going to hit for himself. So far today, 0 for 3, did reach on a fielder's choice and stole a bag last time up. He'll take a strike here to make it 0-1. Tough to get clean innings for the Riptide, but I think what's impressed me is that one drops in for a strike. No errors so far in this game. The last time the Riptide played a non-league game, there were 6 errors by them against the Malibu Marlins, and much cleaner defense today from some guys who aren't playing their normal positions. That one is hit sharply. It is just foul. So the third base umpire was over towards second with the way the 3-man umpiring crew moves here. So it was the home plate umpire's call, and one just barely scoots foul.
Would have been a big one if it was able to stay foul for Nattori, and now still faces the 0-2 count.
Morrissey looking to put away Nattori here to get a big second out in this inning. That one misses away, but yeah, I mean, a lot of guys playing positions they're not necessarily the most familiar with. Luke Johnson, he's talked to us about, he's an infielder. He does not like to play in the outfield, but he has to do what he has to do here for the team. So playing good defense in left field today as that one is lifted towards shortstop. It's going to be caught. Throw back to first in time. The Riptide get a double play just as we were talking about some great defense. It's time to stretch. Riptide up 3. Back here, bottom of the 7th in Irvine, Riptide leading 9-6. They've led since the bottom of the 5th when they scored 5 times. They added a run last frame. Luke Johnson, Henry McDonald, Cam Burdick, the expected here for the Riptide. They'll be facing off against Jake Naturi, who still in this game after getting Jack Salmon to strike out to end the last frame. Johnson so far today got a walk, a double that drove in a run, and a strikeout looking. So a relatively good day for him, but some miscommunication issues here, and we'll have a meeting on the mound between Luna and Naturi. Pardon me, it's Medina behind the plate, not Kainoa Luna. Jaden Medina, who pinch hit for him last frame, staying in the game to do the catching. So now looks like they're on the same page. Still nothing count here. Kick and fire to Johnson. That one is swung on and missed. First lefty that the Riptide have faced in this game. And only 2 lefties in their lineup, none of whom will face him right here at least. Swing and a miss though again for Johnson.
Johnson, nice double that scored a couple runs in the 5th inning. Has already struck out 1 time today, but trying to extend the lead here for the Riptide in the 7th inning.
The 0-2 taken for a ball down. So 1-2 count now. Johnson, when he gets on base, certainly a threat to steal. We already saw him do that once this game. He'll take down to even the count at 2. Certainly the issue for him has been getting on base, not what he does once he's on the base pass. But as Tommy Maguire talked about, there's certainly the ability for him to light it up and turn it on. He batted .257 with a couple homers for the Riptide last summer. Worked the count full here after being down 0-2.
Nice job by Luke Johnson to find his way back into this at bat now. And either draws the walk or an opportunity to get a hit.
Payoff pitch here to Johnson. He'll lace that one into left center field. It's going to get down. Moving quickly is Casas. He'll cut it off. So Johnson, who takes a wide turn at first, will retreat back to safety. But a leadoff single here and a nice at-bat from Luke Johnson.
Multi-hit game for him. Doubled in the 5th and now has a single. Nice job by Luke Johnson. And now he's aboard, and you talked about how he can be a dangerous guy if he's able to get on.
Henry McDonald coming to the plate here for the Riptide, the new catcher. He's 1 for 2 so far. Walked last time up. He also doubled and scored back in the 3rd inning. Swing and a miss here. Perhaps a little bit tougher for Johnson to try and steal with the lefty in the game. Makes it easier to control the running game. You can just stare right at the runner. But we'll see if Johnson is undeterred. Staring right at Johnson, he'll check over, but he's back safely. Able to do it without sliding, so keeps his uniform nice and clean. So 0-1 count here on McDonald. Johnson on first. Riptide up by 3. Johnson goes. That one is in the dirt. Johnson easily in safely for a second stolen base of this game. It sort of felt like both teams knew Johnson was going to steal that bag, but it didn't really matter. Johnson was going to take it regardless.
He's so good when he's able to get on. Steals the bag, gets in scoring position here for the Riptide.
So Henry McDonald now in a 1-1 count after that one skidded in. He'll take another one that bounces in the dirt, so 2-1. McDonald, he had previously committed to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo before moving on to Cal Poly Pomona. 2-1 here towards McDonald. Kicks and fires. That one is swung on and missed. So count even at 2 now after McDonald took a healthy hack, but unsuccessful.
Big cut from the catcher. And coming off his true freshman year at Cal Poly, didn't get too many at-bats there.
2-2. He'll take. Looks like they called him out on strikes. I'm not going to lie, that one was a long way inside. But it is strike 3. Ball bounced in the dirt, so McDonald was ultimately tagged. But tough break there for Henry McDonald. But when you're a catcher, you sort of have to just swallow that and say, hey, as long as you're calling that both ways, then I'm going to live with it at least. So Cam Burdick up here. They'll throw the ball away in the outfield, but Luke Johnson not able to advance.
And Torrey, the pitcher, obviously worried about Luke Johnson, who already has stolen a base in this inning. Sailed one over the second baseman's head, but it didn't roll too far in the outfield.
So Burdick now still 0-0. He'll take a ball down, so 1-0 count. Cam Burdick, who, he loves Revenge of the Sith, big Star Wars fan. So I don't know if he's been watching any of the new, shows that have been coming out on Disney Plus, but I'm sure he's been enjoying them. He lifts this one high and foul off the right side. Are you a Star Wars fan, Aidan?
I will say I have not watched a Star Wars movie.
Wow, that is just tragic, and we're not going to be able to do some fun Star Wars banter here, unfortunately. So I'm very sorry to my younger sister, who's probably the biggest Star Wars fan I know, but no banter for you. So 1-1 here to Burdick. That one will miss high, so 2-1 count.
Oh, Sam, tell me, do I need to get on that or what?
Oh, you definitely get on that, but you have to watch them in the right order. You have to watch 4, 5, 6, and then watch 1, 2, 3.
4, 5, 6, then 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
that's
because
interesting.
that's how the movies came out. So 4, 5, 6, that one bounces in to make it 3-1. Movies 4, 5, and 6 came out in the 80s with George Lucas, Lucasfilms, and then the prequel movies came out in the late 90s, early 2000s. And then they made the sequel 7, 8, 9, which aren't as good in the late 2010s. But definitely 4, 5, 6 are amazing movies. Burdick will wave and miss, so 3-2. I had Star Wars backpack. I had a Boba Fett backpack when I was in kindergarten. You've been to
Star Wars guy.
You've been to Disneyland, right? You've seen Star Wars Land there.
I live 10 minutes as Luke Johnson takes off.
That one will get up and away. So Burdick went down looking. Johnson, though, swipes third. So 2 down here. So the second straight batter goes looking. Johnson swipes his second bag of the frame. And that'll bring up Marcos Rosales with the potential 10th run just 90 feet away here for Orange County.
Yeah, so I grew up, had season passes to Disneyland. I obviously saw the Star Wars land. Just never got around to watching the movies.
Well, you've got some time on some off days coming up that you need to use correctly. First pitch to Rosales, a perfectly placed off speed that drops in for a strike. Rosales, so far today, he's walked, got a single, and then a couple of out to the last 2 frames, a ground out and a fly out, but looking to bring home a run right here for his second RBI of the game. It'll miss high, so count even at 1.
Rosales had a double in the third, but since then, ground out and a fly out.
1-1 takes high. And that double was some of the most heads-up base running we've seen. That ball was grounded into left field, and there was concern about the runners moving around. So instead, able to move up while they were distracted, Rosales took an extra 90 feet to get the double. 2-1. That one way inside. So 3-1 count here now on Marcos Rosales.
And I was talking with assistant coach Grant Mayu, and this is a guy in Marco Rosales that they really feel confident about. They like what he has, and they're just waiting for him to get going at any point here in the season.
He'll foul that one off. So the count's going to run full here. 3-2 to Rosales. The runner on third is Luke Johnson. He's been there for about a batter's worth as he got a single to left to lead off this frame, stole 2 bags, but the Riptide struck out looking twice in this frame. Rosales ready for the 3-2. That one misses up high, so Ball for Rosales will walk, and that'll put runs at the corners for Grant MacArthur, who had a pretty big day today.
Really has back-to-back singles in the 5th and 6th, scored in both of those innings. Rosales reaches on the walk, his second walk today, and like we talked about, the double in the 3rd came around to score.
He's scored 2 runs, driven in a run on a ground out, so it's been really everywhere as part of this Riptide lineup. Got a chance to drive in some more runs here. He'll take inside, so 1-0 count. Notori on the mound has not given up a run yet after his predecessor Matt Lee allowed 8, 7 of which were earned in 3 2/3 innings. Runner goes from first. There will not be a throw down if that one drops in for the zone. So Marcos Rosales moves up, steals a bag, and there's now 2 men in scoring position here.
This base running from Marco Rosales.
So 1-1 here to MacArthur. He'll foul that one off to the right side. So 1-2 here with 2 outs in the frame. The runner at second, Rosales. Runner at third, Johnson. 3 stolen bases in this inning already from Orange County. That one is fouled off to the left side. So we'll do the 1-2 one more time. Not before Johnny Rodriguez races out to retrieve that baseball.
Looks like they got Jort on foul ball duties, or Jonathan Rodriguez.
You don't see a lot of times the hitters on foul ball duty, but Rodriguez, who played yesterday, has an off day today and doing some work here. 1-2 to MacArthur. He'll take down, so count will even at 2 apiece.
Runners in scoring position. Grant MacArthur looking for his 3rd hit today, but Notori would love to get that strike 3 call here.
He's already gotten 2 strikeouts looking this inning, and he'll get a 3rd, this time swinging. So the Riptide leave 2, still 9-6, and this inning break is brought to you by Experian. Experian is your BFF, your big financial friend. It's big enough to have the resources and knowledge that have an impact, but it's personal enough to help with what's best for only you. No matter where you are on your financial journey, your big financial friend is a trustworthy companion by your side. Wherever you are on your financial journey, your big financial friend is ready to help you navigate the smartest ways to reach all your personal financial goals with solutions that you can trust. This is Experian, your big financial friend for life. For more information, visit Experian.com.
Out.
Welcome back here to the Great Park. New pitcher in the ball game for the Riptide. It's number 34, that's Haas Fragoso. So he'll be making his 2nd appearance of the season for Orange County.
Haas Fragoso out of Cal State Bakersfield. Made his debut on Sunday, an inning, and just gave up 1 hit.
In a nice outing from Jack Morrissey, who did not allow a run to score. He struck out 2 batters, walked 1. So 2 big scoreless innings from Morrissey turns this over to Fregoso. Fregoso last worked on Sunday, made his Riptide debut. He worked an inning, gave up a hit, did not allow a run, and earned the win because he pitched a scoreless ninth before the Riptide walked it off. So great job from him. Trying to get a second solid outing here. He'll deal with Jake Fowler, Val Lopez, and Gavin Flores, and he drops the first pitch strike into Fowler.
And going back to his 2025 season now, he finished the year off with 4 outings that were scoreless, so now that's 5 consecutive scoreless outings for Fregoso.
He misses high here, so 1-1 count. Issues going on with the scoreboard out in right field. They don't appear to have the ability to change the count or do anything at the moment, but it is a 1-1 count. That one catches the bottom of the zone, so 1-2 here. Fregoso will adjust his belt. Now he's back on the mound and ready to pitch. He's got a 3-1 count here now. Fregoso looks ready to go back on the mound. Fowler will step out for just a moment. Now good to go. It is a 2-2 count. I thought I had that right and the scoreboard fooled me. I'm a little disappointed with that one, but that one's fouled off the catcher. He'll grab it, throw onto first in time. So a strikeout there, threw down successfully. So nice job from McDonald. We've seen how difficult those can be.
And gets he out there and 1 away in the 8th inning for the Riptide.
At this point, you're just trying to count down those outs here. Now 5 outs away in this ball game. Val Lopez stepping up to the plate here for the Colton Nighthawks. Fregoso yanked that one, so 1-0 count. Fregoso's very smart. He's got a 4.53 GPA in high school, and he says he plays chess to try and help him when he's on the mound. He thinks it helps it stay calm and makes him a better pitcher when he's out there. Baseball, of course, is a game of chess in many ways, the way you move your players and use your bench. 1-0 is swung on and missed. I'd personally like to see a Bishop throw 90 miles per hour, but
You a big chess guy, Sam?
I'm not. I've never been very good. I mean, I understand the rules of how to play, but I'm not good enough to move the pieces around in a way that makes sense. What about you?
I mean, I consider myself fairly decent. Fregoso would probably beat me, but
Well, maybe that's
I
our
know the
next interview.
pieces.
Maybe that's our next interview
A live
in
chess
game. Is that
match.
you two play chess and I'll announce the baseball game.
Yeah, we got to get Fregoso up here one day.
So 1-2 here from Fregoso. That one misses down. Done a good job. He's sort of moved around. He was at the San Diego Sunrays, who are now defunct. The Waves and Bombers are the San Diego affiliate teams. He had a 5.02 ERA with 28 2/3 innings last year. That one is lifted towards left center field. Burdick coming on. He's got his glove up. He'll make the catch for the second out here in the 8th inning. So 2 down, no one aboard here for Colton as Gavin Flores steps into the batter's box.
So far, a good outing for Fregoso. 2 outs and looking for that last one and get the Riptide back up. And now you're just 4 outs away from closing this ball game.
Flores, who's got 2 hits in this game, both singles to right field. He'll take a strike on the outside half to make it 0-1. Fregoso's cousin, Adrian Chaidez, played ball for the Houston Astros. So Fregoso, I'm sure, hoping to make it to the affiliated levels as well. Another strike makes it 0-2. Jake Fowler, who's the shortstop for the Nighthawks, is currently warming in their bullpen. So potentially more changes for them on the way defensively. First, though, the 0-2 from Fragoso. He's staring in intently. Now finds a pitch that he likes, looking for the punch out. Instead, that one is way up and away.
And I know we talked about it a lot tonight, but you really got to admire the job that McDonald's done. And he's been hit with a lot of challenges tonight, had a couple balls get past him, but I feel like he's done a nice job behind the dish in his first start as a Riptide.
No, for sure. He's been great behind the plate, and that one will bounce in to make it 3-2. Probably the only blemish he's had was he couldn't quite find that foul ball, or pardon me, the dropped third strike. But otherwise, he's been great. So 2-2 here. That one is swung on, dropped. They'll have to throw down to first in time. So Fragoso goes 1-2-3 with a couple of punchies. We're headed to the bottom of the 8th. Riptide up 9-6. Welcome back here to the Great Park in Irvine. Some defensive changes. Jake Fowler on the mound now. So Jake Fowler, who was at shortstop, is on the mound. Emilio Saibachi's moved from second to shortstop. Gavin Flores has moved from first to second. And Gabe Guerrero's entered the game here. That one is in there for a strike. So 1-1 here towards Brady Pettit, leading things off at the 8th inning for Orange County.
Nighthawks having to make some changes with a small roster. You're going to have a couple guys play multiple positions in one game.
That one catches the outer half for a strike. So 1-2. So the 1-2 here towards Pettit from the new pitcher Fowler. One is up and in. So 2-2 count. Nice solid 2 1/3 from Jake Naturi. He did not give up a run. So walked one batter and struck out 4. That one is fouled off to the left side. So count will stay at 2-2.
The Riptide are leading by 3 runs, but with how potent we've seen this Nighthawks offense tonight, and like to add a couple more extra insurance runs going into the 9th inning.
No, for sure. Definitely can never have too many. So looking to add on right here, and got a good part of the order to do it with. Pettit will swing, lanes that one towards right field. It's going to get down. So a leadoff single for the second straight Pham for the Riptide. They struck out 3 times last inning, so looking to do better after the leadoff single than they did last time when they stranded Luke Johnson at third and Marcos Rosales at second.
And Brady Pettit, starting at shortstop, came in today batting .333, having himself another solid game.
Colby Moran coming up to the plate here. Moran so far this game, ground out, but then doubled in a run and scored, and then was hit by a pitch back in the sixth. So 1 for 3, RBI, been on base twice. That one will skip away, but not far enough for Pettit to advance. So just a 1-0 count. Pettit has hit safely in all 3 games he's played as a member of the Riptide. 1-0 here towards Moran. That one is way away. So 2-0 count now. Colby's done a good job of getting himself into advantage count so far today and looking to take advantage and show off that power that he did with that double that bounced off the wall in deep right center field. That one is hit sky high towards center instead. De La Torre racing back. He will make the catch. So a first out here in the inning. A long out, but an out nonetheless.
We're showing off some of that power. That ball was sent deep. Nice grab by De La Torre in center. One away, and Pettit's on first still.
No, certainly if Moran can pull some of these fly balls to the short porch, it's just 325 feet down the right field line at the Great Park, and he'll have a much better chance of getting one out if he can do that. Mitchell Birdsall now up. He's got a single in this game as well as a sac fly. Was hit by a pitch, so yet to score today, but looking to keep a solid day going. That one way up and in, so 1-0. Birdsall had to duck out of the way, got his bat down as well.
He's already been hit by a pitch today in the fourth. And nice job of evading, I guess, being hit by that one.
Yeah, certainly it's one thing to wear one when it's at like your belt buckle, but it's another thing when it's up and in. I definitely understand moving out of the way. That one bounces in, so 2-0 count. Looked like Medina was thinking about trying to back pick Pettit, but instead thought better of it and just threw the ball back to Fowler on the mound. Two and 0, swung on, grounded towards third. Romero will field. He'll just go to first for 1, and he'll get the out. So Pettit able to move up on that slow roller, but a second out here in the inning as Birdsall is retired.
2 away, and that brings up Jack Salmon. Has scored a run today, but struck out in his last at-bat and flew out in the 4th inning.
No, he does not have a hit so far. He did reach on a fielder's choice. He's the only member of the Riptide lineup who's yet to have a hit today. So looking to make it all 9 men with base knocks. If Salmon can get a hit here. Got a giant gap in the right side of the infield here. The way they're playing him is very shifted over. Now the new shortstop, Sibachi, a little bit closer to the second base bag, but still a large gap if he can pull it one up the middle. Misses away, so 2-0 count now on Salmon. Playing him close to the line, though. Romero's very close to that third base bag, so ton of gaps in this infield if Salmon can find a way to send one sharply. That one in there for a strike, so 2-1 now. When Salmon does get a hit, it's been for extra bases. All 3 hits this year have been those doubles, so trying to keep that streak going right here, perhaps. He'll take a strike well on the outer half. Certainly feels like this strike zone has gotten larger as this game's gone on, but 2-2 here for Salmon. Looks like no one's warming in the bullpen, so it will be Fragoso's 9th. That one misses outside, so before that, 3-2 now on Jack Salmon.
Jack Salmon looking to avoid striking out twice today. He struck out 3 times on Sunday against the Barons.
So payoff pitch on the way momentarily from Fowler. That one is grounded towards second. Flores Fields throws onto first in time. The Riptide do not score, but they're 3 outs away from washing away the Nighthawks headed to the ninth after this. Great park here. We'll have a pinch hitter to start things off against Haas Fregoso. Gabe Guerrero's coming into the game in place of Sean Romero.
Guerrero came in defensively last inning. He was at first.
So 1-0 count there after Fregoso misses inside, trying to get his first save of the season, recorded his first win on Sunday, but being used in some high leverage spots from Coach Evans so far. That one on the outer half, so 1-1. Riptide feels like they haven't won or haven't had one of these close games where you have to have the bullpen come on, and I think it's been really impressive what they've done so far. That one is lifted towards left field. Charging is Johnson, but he does not have a play, so lead runner reaches on a bloop single. That'll bring up De La Torre. But otherwise, a pretty solid performance in the Riptide bullpen. 3 straight scoreless innings. If you can close it out here after this Colton team really got aggressive and scored a lot of runs on you early, you've sort of answered and shut the door, which has been real positive for the Riptide.
Definitely has. The bullpen has done a nice job today, like you talked about, a couple of 0 frames for the Nighthawks, but a good start with the leadoff single from Guerrero.
No, certainly exactly what you don't want if you're the Riptide. You want to do everything you can to at least keep that tying run right there in the on-deck circle. No need for him to come up to bat at any point in this inning. So 0-1 here now on De La Torre. He'll take one up and away to make it 1-1.
Gosa had a 1-2-3 inning with 2 strikeouts in the 8th.
That one in there for a strike. Looks like there was perhaps a cross-up there between McDonald and Fregoso, as McDonald was ready for an off-speed that bounced, but able to make a nice grab to keep that ball in front of him. Another great play from McDonald. Those are really tricky to do.
And McDonald's still a young guy just coming off his true freshman year, and really nice job by him tonight.
Fregoso is a little bit of an elder statesman. He's a senior next time he goes back to Cal State Bakersfield. That one up and away, but got just enough of a glove to keep the runner right at first, and McDonald continues to dazzle behind the plate. So 2-2 count here now. Fregoso kicks and fires. That one is fouled off behind. So still 2-2.
Nice job here by Hunter Dawson, number
Robert Delatorre.
Robert Delatorre. There's 221s on this roster to stay alive in this at bat and foul off a couple pitches.
So 2-2 again to Delatorre. That one is up and away. Nothing that McDonald could do this time, and that'll allow Guerrero to move up. But that run is, at least for the moment, relatively irrelevant. The Riptide still up by 3 in this game. It does make it a full count, though, so Fregoso's got a big pitch to make.
Big pitch to make for Fregoso. If you can get the strikeout here, that's huge for him as he gets one out closer to closing this game out.
That one is just fouled off. Got a piece by millimeters. So 3-2 again. The battle continues between Fregoso and Delatorre. It'll be Damian Casas standing in that on-deck circle. If Delatorre gets on, that means he's the tying run. So definitely want to avoid that. Still no outs here in this 3-run ball game, top 9. Swung on and missed. Fregoso gets his man. So a third strikeout of the game from Fregoso and a huge out here for the Riptide.
Definitely a huge out, 2 outs away from closing this game for Fregoso. Gets the 6th strikeout of the night for the Riptide, and like you said, his 3rd.
It is certainly closing time here. Dominic Casas steps into the batter's box. So far, Casas 0 for 3, did have a sacrifice fly that plated a run back in the 3rd, but still foul that one back. Still hitless today. Obviously, the Riptide, 8 of their players have base hits. Both teams have had a ton, though. For the Riptide right now, it's 9 runs on 11 hits, and for the Nighthawks, it's 6 runs on 8 hits. I think the difference in this ball game, 2 errors from the Nighthawks, none from the Riptide so far. So playing some clean defense. 0-1 now. Fouled off again. So nothing in 2 here on Casas.
It's really nice to see how the Riptide defense has played well tonight. No errors so far. And that's something that they've struggled with in the past couple games.
So nothing and 2 here now. Fregoso will kick and fire. Strikes Casas out, so it's time to send him home. 4th strikeout from Fregoso, and you're now just 1 out away if you're the Riptide. Be Jaden Medina on here. He came in as a pinch hitter for Kanoa Luna. Now going to hit for himself for a 2nd time. Fregoso just now 1 pitch away, he knows, from getting out of this game and getting the Riptide a win. That one is lifted out towards right field. Salmon settles under it. He will reach his glove up, make the catch, and the Riptide win this one 9-6. It's a non-league game, but certainly still nice to see the Riptide get back in the win column after a tough loss yesterday.
Really is, and it's a nice game to see them battle back and forth in games where they, at times tonight, they led and found themselves fighting from behind, able to regain the lead and win 9-6. A nice pitching performance by Fregoso, and the Riptide improved to 7-5 overall.
No, for sure. A great job from the Riptide. They trailed by 2 runs, 6-4 in the top of the 5th. They answered with 4 in the bottom of the 5th while Tommy Maguire was up here with us, so he'll have to come back more often. That's pretty much all I have to say. Anything from you, Aidan?
I think Coach Brian Evans has got to be really happy. The Bats, 11 hits today on 9 runs. That's got to be a good feeling for him as well. And the pitching staff, I thought they did a nice job of settling in down the line. The 2 errors for the Nighthawks were big, but defensively for the Riptide, you got to be really happy with that 0 on the error column.
know for sure. They did a great job all game, got some big double plays when they needed it most, and were able to get out of here with a win. So for the Riptide coming up, they've got games each of the next 3 days. It all starts tomorrow night when they take on the Conejo Oaks for the first time this season. They'll host San Luis Obispo on Saturday. Both those games will be at 7 p.m. So we'll see you right back here on Riptide TV. For Aidan, Pham, I'm Sam Evans. Thanks to Lonzo Rivera, Melissa Kwan, and Colin Costagan for helping us out the whole way tonight. And that's all for us here. Thank you for watching. Good night.